Commissioner. It's 5:30 already. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm pretty, there we go.
Are we recording?
Yes, we're recording,
Okay.
but nobody will, they'll just, will they be able to hear it?
They'll
Yes,
see it, yeah.
but they can't see it.
The building.
No, they can't.
No, they can see it.
They can't either one.
So whatever you're saying right now. It's 5:30, so I will call our special meeting for the Max Levy to order.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Wait, I'll get your name right this time.
Okay, you're good. I go right pretty much anything.
Give him an extra jab when he comes in.
That's right. So, Michelle, would you do roll call?
Yes. Steve Herron,
Here.
Denny Workmeister,
Here.
Jane Unrow,
Here.
Nicole Jacobs.
Here.
Carol Hunkell.
Here.
All right, if you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is a one-item agenda meeting for a public hearing for our proposed property tax levy. So I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. You should have a copy of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for this meeting.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We need agendas.
They are with the hard copies, so you
Sure
can
have.
go to the back. That's not,
Oh, the ones that ones I
Your
got delivered
packet?
to you?
Oh,
This
it's
was
packet.
the first packet that you
I
got.
didn't look at the back of it.
Uh-oh, we know you didn't go to the back of the...
Yes, it did. I looked at, where did it
no, Alana said she
Yes,
clipped them to the back.
Yeah, yes, they were, to the back.
at? Way in
Because
the
it was a
back.
loose
Way
sheet.
in the back. One loose sheet.
I'll go ahead, I'll find it.
So the agenda is called to order, pledge of allegiance, approval agenda, the public hearing for our proposed tax levy, and an adjournment. So we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried.
Michelle says,
All right.
thank you.
So I will open the public hearing for our 2026 proposed property tax levy. You have a copy of it on your desk, is that right, Michelle?
Yes.
And that is the one called Notice of Public Hearing, City of Paullina, Proposed Property Tax Levy. So are you here for the property tax levy, or are you here for a
No, I'm
building?
just reading the agenda that it started at 6. No, go right ahead.
I thought maybe that was it. Okay, there's nobody from the public here to speak to at the public hearing, so I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
What about if we left it open just for a little bit longer? See if any citizens agree would show up. We don't have anything till 6 o'clock, so.
We don't, you're right.
Just a thought.
And nobody called in about it or asked you any questions or anything? Okay.
So that email that I read in my package, that was what city was at, that they were getting all kinds of feedback.
Oh, those emails that you sent.
Yeah.
Oh,
From
on the
Terry or
others.
something like that, to Ted or over the name. Anyway.
I guess I'm not sure what you're...
I saw it too.
I don't think there's any emails in there regarding the tax levy. That would be on the regular meeting.
These are all for the
Here you go. At the top it says article. from
Pages at 37.
37. A Chad and a Katie. Yeah, they were talking about the levies, right? Is that just an example?
Oh, this was just, you got from that
That
Collins
was the
City
feed
clerk
off the,
that you
I
had
don't know
received.
how that even actually got in here, but.
That wasn't supposed to be?
So set it to the side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it'll help explain what the bottom number
Looks like.
on here, what that means, that
Right.
percentage.
So I'll keep moving this here.
Okay, so we do have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Do you want to delay that, or since the public hearing is scheduled for 5:30, are you okay closing the public hearing?
I'm okay with closing it. I think if they really were wanting to come here to voice their opinion, they'd be here.
Yeah. Or they would have called about it.
Close the public hearing, is that roll call? Okay, so all in favor of the motion to close the public hearing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried.
This is-
5:36. All right, that's our only item on the agenda for this meeting, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn the special meeting regarding the property tax levy.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Our meeting is adjourned. Our regular council meeting will begin in about 23 minutes at 6 o'clock.
You can't start early.
Can't start early.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Can you make an
You're
amendment to that?
positive? Oh,
Yeah, 'cause you're not
You aware
supposed to
that
say
one
okay.
cross
But you wouldn't have
sign
to.
post
You wouldn't have
assembly
to.
You
keeps
would have
getting
to.
run.
Wait till 6 to start
Right
the
now, it's
meeting.
90 degrees off from what it's supposed to be the west side, down by the school.
Do we have to have everything
That,
turned
that
off
whole,
then?
you know, it's got the crosswalk
Lead
sign
time,
plus
so
all the
everything
light
can
systems and the solar
cease,
panel.
everything.
Good.
So, and this is actually the
Okay.
second time. The first time I saw it one
Okay.
night, I went out there and I was able to rock it after a long, long time. I
Michelle
managed to
did.
get it
I
back
shut
to
that
the
off.
correct orientation, but it'd be a lot easier if you had a big strap or something, I think, to do it. And then maybe see if there's a way to pin it, so it won't do that.
That was gonna turn this off, right?
So, yeah, down there,
Why couldn't
Prospect
you
and
just
Willow on the
say-
west side.
Our regular meeting will start after,
I'll check her out.
And
Because
Probably
the
need
state
a-
law says they have to be a very defined and distinct separate meetings, they can't run one into the next.
okay.
We had to do that one.
Yeah, I know you did.
That started last year.
Was that when it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Go Tails.
Okay, let's go. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, you can take a break,
See, he doesn't even care.
No, we didn't care where we're going.
just make sure you come back.
Oh, see, make sure we come back.
Let's see, what time can we make it back? I don't know. It's a long walk.
I wanna see you ladies run up there.
We're
Literally
walking.
run.
We'll run up and we
Are you
walk back.
kidding, Nicole?
She's still taking it.
Oh, I believe you can.
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I could look at some.
Richard, are you still filming? Do you have your cameras going? Okay. Would you be so kind as to turn them off just while we're chatting, or no?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'll be back. Okay. See you later.
We can all.
This we already have.
Yeah, we
didn't
can.
Yeah, we can leave,
Yeah.
the meeting's closed, the next
Yeah.
meeting will be
I'll be
called to
okay
order
with-
at 6.
I'm gonna go over to the other room, actually. Michelle, can I ask you a few questions on this?
Yep.
loose one?
Yeah, I didn't, she just gave us those now, but we
The
had
notes?
those with our packets.
Notes for what?
Notes we had with our packets.
We did, we got the whole February stuff that she gave as a separate packet with it. But was this one she just gave us now today, this 4/7 then, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this budget worksheet.
That 4/7, no, well, no, she laid that too, yes, but this 4/7/25, which should have been, I'm guessing she did today.
What's this one?
Yes. But I thought we had
See,
something like that.
we got that with our packet.
Oh, we
Yep.
did, and it was
Yeah.
loose, huh?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was loose, yeah.
Oh,
She said she
because
should
I
have
knew I was
stapled it to
reading
the,
that, and I thought I was reading it again.
yeah, she said she should have stapled it behind the agenda, but
Right,
she
she
did
did,
not.
okay. Then I know I was reading it earlier, because I thought, I'm reading the same thing. Gotcha.
Marlon, may I ask you a question? The inland marine part of the policy, what does that cover? You know, I know what it covers on, like personal, but,
I don't honestly know that.
Isn't any equipment coverage, like for trailers and those type items?
That might be.
oh,
Thinking.
okay.
Because we have it on some of our policy, and we've got that includes like trailers and movable equipment, but not moved by something else, like a vehicle that's hooked onto it. Wouldn't be included because that's auto insurance, so
Okay.
that marine is,
Okay.
right, Kelly?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Jamie.
Yep.
Yeah, so there I think was paid 40. But I don't know if we paid this or if that's still paid. Yeah, see, it looks like it's not paid. It shows deductions and everything. That's what the market is. What's left? Can we help you?
I'm just here for the council meeting.
Okay, we'll be starting at 6. And what's your name?
My name's Kayla. Jenna asked me to come
Jenna.
for People for Pets.
Oh, okay, good. We do have you people for pets on the agenda, so.
You want me to?
You can have a seat anywhere here or
Okay.
there.
I didn't realize that there was
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I do it anyways. And I do, yes. I guess I should have brought that. I kind of came last minute here. So I just grabbed it, got you to an example. But yeah, I usually, I'm.
You can sit here if you like.
She gave all these. Yeah. So we could take one of these, but I don't think the answers to some of these things. To explain these items, she said she gave us now.
There, I think
They're not sure they'll understand.
Things right here.
Sure.
It's paid.
Yeah.
And then, I think it's very similar, it's got this, it said. Something. What's left? They're saying that we don't usually do it for anybody.
So I do. I'm sure the answer is yes.
So you saw the second one last page, relates to that.
Oh, is it? Very nice. Okay.
Our
47.
system's down. So we put up with this.
Alright, so she does have that.
It's hard, it's hard. If we're being honest.
This is
downhill slope from there.
So you're in the animal field too? Oh, you're Brooks. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah, did you used to call me the walking lady?
Probably.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, probably.
Listen, you were in shape. Asking her about notching my kids here. Is it universal studies?
Good one.
There you go. All right, thanks, gals.
Yeah. She's in crutches.
Can't get in further. I said I can't get in any further, so.
Is it okay to you?
No, that's perfect.
From what I know.
Yeah, from what I thought.
It's not next to the construction.
Yeah, Michelle was when she thought they were okay, so.
Yeah, but new driveway where my gravel driveway is not burning.
Yes, what you tell me once, you were gonna hang out your old last night. I said, I think,
Probably. Yeah, no, I
And
was.
mine is, that gravel and rock. I mean, we're just gonna go from where the cement in it on out to the street, redo the sidewalk, just everything.
it's an existing driveway, I didn't think it'd be a problem.
Why would we do it? I'll just run out and somebody says something.
Especially if you're around.
Sounds good.
So hopefully that'll happen this spring.
Did you? Oh, I was trying to see.
Somebody gonna do it in porch?
Yeah, toward the old one off a couple years ago now. She had a big house, she's got that one too.
Yeah.
Wow,
These contractors are sitting there.
I know.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
working on the inside of our house too.
Yeah, Marcy.
Yeah, I mean, we're some main contractors.
Sure.
We yell at them enough to eventually come.
I've been after Randy. I want to knock out
Oh, is it
just the pass through. I can see. See, that's a support now. No, it's not like my neighbors are sales. But I'm working most of it all there. I'm just, what I have done is
There are such things as headers, that you put up there to
yeah,
support that
and then
stuff.
I went to Tom Murphy, Chuck Murphy's brother, I said, you know, we get accidentally knock a hole in it someday.
And I see how they fall through it or whatever.
Yeah, well, they said, yeah, the wire was like from the thermostat. I'm not even gonna be close to that.
Running out of excuses with it.
Yeah.
Grab the
Yep.
Sure can.
More paper.
Yeah.
This is easy. Oh, this is the easy one?
Yeah, this is easy.
All right.
We're okay with this one.
Thank you very much.
Hi Kelly,
Hi, Deb.
thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
Oh, Michelle.
She smells good. I just put her teeth. You smell like cotton candy. It's like vanilla. Ah, well, let's do vanilla.
Not the table.
Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
What's that, Carol?
That's Oscars.
Yes.
And I took that picture.
Oh, okay, okay.
When I first saw that.
That is a nice picture.
I looked at it, I couldn't believe it. They had a lot of them, they were doing it. I thought, see, yeah.
And they probably have to.
And where the playground is?
Entrance to the ball field is,
And that's how.
Last year, down here, so remember, or
What's
was
that?
that fire department? Everything else will be because of the flood. You're like the end of June.
Oh,
On the other side.
This is a chamber, but
yeah,
I think that's.
yeah,
it's closed, doesn't it?
yeah. I think the fire department's thing is July 19th? No, 12th.
Okay, all right.
Just, if you want different, let me know.
I mean, I don't know why that isn't where.
We did it last year.
Which was?
Now you lost your
There.
There's an extra one here too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there. Oh, yeah.
What? I'm gonna be sick of that.
But I like to, is it their breakfast?
Well, I can go
Yoga
for
and then
that.
breakfast? Yeah, well, that's.
Yeah,
what I'm
But I ain't gonna go yoga first.
Well,
That'd be fine.
just show up a little late and say, well.
There's 3 over.
There you go.
There's 3 in the corner over.
Yeah.
Was Matt getting
Well,
more?
you should do it after breakfast anyhow, shouldn't you?
I know nothing about yoga.
Me neither.
You said the west end, right, Steve?
On the west end, yeah.
You, right? The jamboree? Busy bunch of you.
You said?
Think you good,
I don't bend that way anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're just going to breakfast and then we'll see.
Well, you have to do it to be able to be possible.
Got it?
Okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go.
It's not there, it's nice, but good. You can't put it in. Or even up to 58.
6 o'clock, so I will call our meeting to order. Our regular meeting for Monday, April 7th. Would you roll call,
Yes.
please?
Steve Herron,
Here?
Denny Workmeister,
Here.
Gina Ralph,
Here.
Nicole Jacobs,
Here.
Carol Hancock.
Here.
Alright. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you've got the agenda in front of you. I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor
Well,
say aye.
wait. Did we,
We have to go down to the next one. Or
Oh.
do we know if we want some
No,
changes?
Claims?
consent.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
okay.
So we have a motion, we have a second to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say aye. Carried. Okay. Our next agenda item is a public forum for anybody that is here that wants to speak to an item that is not currently on the agenda. Anybody here to speak for an item not on the agenda? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Item number 4, city announcements. Michelle?
Yeah, I'd just like to remind all the residents that we do have a power outage April 13th from 3 to 7 p.m.
Not a minute longer, right, Kelly? Right. Hopefully 60 minutes shorter.
But it's supposed to be nice, so
It is supposed to
go
be.
outside.
It's awesome, and it's daylight.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Item number 5 is our consent agenda, which all items will be enacted by one motion unless there's a council member that wants to remove anything from the agenda, or from the consent agenda.
I would like to make a motion, or if I make a motion, to remove the claims report from the consent agenda.
Okay, so 5B. Move that down to, probably move it down to between 11 and 12.
It's okay.
Actually, no, we'll move it down to 16 with the other financials.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, any other changes from council? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda without the financials claims item.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried with all ayes. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 6, 108 East Grospec, the former Mercy One Clinic sale. Our first item under that agenda is a public hearing for the sale of 108 East Grospec, so I would call that public hearing to order and open that public hearing. Is there anybody here to speak at the public hearing regarding the sale of Mercy Clinic? All right, I would then entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Okay, so now we have 3 resolutions that we, as council, have to act on to do that. We should have those in your packet. Starting with page 11. So Agenda item 6B is a resolution directing the sale and authorizing the city of Paullina to enter into a contract and convey real estate owned by the city of Paullina.
On this one, it says 5:30, but the correct one does say 6 for the public hearing.
So we have to change it here. So the one that we're going to act on
Right.
is 6. Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
Move to approve a resolution directing sale and authorizing the city of Paullina to enter into a contract and convey real estate owned by the city of Paullina. Now be it resolved by the council of the city of Paullina, Iowa, that the mayor and city clerk are hereby authorized and directed to enter into a real estate agreement and subsequently execute a special warranty deed to JZD Properties LLC for the conveyance of the following tract of real estate to the entity indicated upon receipt of fair and adequate consideration, to wit, lots 1 and 2 in the north 10 feet of lot 3 and block 12 of the city of Paullina, in O'Brien County and state of Iowa, as shown by the recorded plat thereof.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. It's a toss.
Whichever one.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion for that motion and resolution by council? Hearing none, Michelle, roll
Yep.
call vote, please.
Carol Hunkell,
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs.
Aye.
Gina Harrell.
Aye.
Danny Workmeister.
Aye.
Steve Herron.
Aye.
That motion passes with all ayes. Okay. Now, agenda item 6C is a resolution approving the executed contract, which is on your page 13 of your packet. I would entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution approving the executed contract. Now be it resolved by the council of the city of Paullina, Iowa, that the executed real estate contract is hereby approved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote. Roll call.
Steve Herron.
Aye.
Danny Workmeister.
Aye.
Gina Harrell.
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs.
Aye.
Carol Hunkell.
Aye.
Okay. And 6D, resolution approving the special warranty deed. That resolution is on your page 15. I would entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll read it. Resolution approving special warranty deed. Now be it resolved by the council of the city of Paullina, Iowa, that the special warranty deed is hereby approved.
We got a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Questions? Hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote. Roll call.
Steve Herron.
Aye.
Danny Workmeister.
Aye.
Gina Harrell.
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs.
Aye.
Carol Hunkell.
Aye.
Okay. So, all right, so you guys are here. Do you have any questions or anything, or?
No questions. We did have an attorney read through the abstract, and he had an objection to one of the articles, or one of the entries. So we're waiting for an affidavit or quick claim from Mercy One that they are no longer part of the lease. Because it said the lease will go on as long as they're providing medical services anywhere in O'Brien County. So before we sign our side of it, we would like that affidavit. To be
That'll come from Mercy One
and
then.
it has to come from, so your attorney
Our
is gonna get it
our
and send it
attorney
to our
will send
attorney.
it to their
Yeah.
attorney. Okay.
Okay.
So, and then get that cleaned up before we
Yeah.
write the check.
All right.
Good idea. Good thing you've seen it, they've seen it.
I will the attorney's report.
Yep, right. That's right.
Okay, so, those are all the legal proceedings that we have to approve. Attorneys are working on that last document, at which time then we'll sign, both parties will sign the contract. There's a copy of that in here as well, everyone, so. Okay.
Yay.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
We appreciate your work.
We're excited for the expansion.
Right, let's see the new business.
Do you have any estimated timelines yet?
Jill, no.
It'll be a process.
I'm sure.
There's some work to be done.
You wanna get it done right.
And we appreciate the roads, all the work that they've done for us.
Absolutely. Great. Okay.
So what's the timeline on it, like a new piece of equipment in the dental environment?
Most of the equipment we have,
Right.
so it's just moving over there for equipment to start, and then as we add rooms. Not,
That's when you bring in new equipment or whatever.
but we brought in a lot of new equipment already,
Oh, okay.
so moving that equipment, just moving it over. So,
Excellent.
Great.
we're excited.
Okay, we will be in touch with you tomorrow after we hear from the attorneys.
Hopefully tomorrow or the next day.
Or the next day, or by the end of the week.
Yeah.
So,
We were hoping by
so
today, but
we're hoping.
yeah,
Anything else?
It's a Monday.
I think that's it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome to
Congrats.
It's your new building.
We'll hit you up for another ribbon cutting.
Sounds good. Maybe not in this most.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Great. That was Steve. Okay, our agenda item number 7 is People for Pets. Which one is Jenna?
Yeah, I'm Jenna.
Jenna, are you
Hi.
taking the lead on this?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a team effort, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Jenna, I'm the director at People for Pets in Sensor, and this is Brooke. Brooke, you're up here.
Brooke Hibbing, you know, Harlan Doty's daughter, parents live just outside of town.
So, yeah, and then I brought Kayla, she's very knowledgeable with TNR, she's done a lot of educating and everything with the public, so I thought she'd be good to have on board as well.
Yes, I run a little TNR project called the Little Sioux TNR Project. I've been doing that for like 12 years now, so not public for that long, but yeah, so I'm kind of here for knowledge, advice, what I think.
We're here to help.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
You guys have a stray cat problem, apparently.
we have a lot of stray cats in town.
Yeah.
They didn't meet you when you came in?
We saw these six.
Yeah.
Around the block a couple times.
Stick around, you know.
Got a couple houses that I might know of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And they all look real healthy.
that's good. Friendly is the question.
Yeah.
How friendly?
Yeah.
Think we can pick half of them up?
I don't know.
So they usually run when they see you coming.
I know a few houses that you could probably go and pick them up
Yes, that's
from.
right. There's a
Okay.
few houses probably.
So, yeah, my goal is kind of to, you know, if you have any friendly ones, we can take the friendly ones to our shelter. We have a big transport at the end of the month, so that'll open up space for us to help out and take, you know, these cats. And then the feral ones, you know, we're still kind of, it's a long process and it's hard. So we're
we
kind
need
of,
some data and rundown of like what's actually going on, so we can make a plan. Sorry, I can't see you guys talking around like this. But yeah, that's how I usually start, is like gathering data, you know, even from people that want to, hopefully from people that don't want to.
Okay, that's where I step in, because I've already reached out to a couple people from Paullina that have told me hot spots of where the cats are and stuff, and that would volunteer help us if we needed it. So data-wise, that we can gather a lot from the locals that have been watching the stray population scattered.
yeah. Are there a lot of people complaining about, yeah,
Mhm.
like how many people would you say are?
to the city or to just amongst people in town?
I guess, yeah, in
I
general.
think both ways.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I think
it's
she
a
gets it,
lot.
Kelly gets it, and
I have them really bad up at our shed. We've got a dumpster, there's a couple houses right by our shed. They have a lot of them around,
Remind me what part of town you're living in?
right on the highway,
Okay,
right in back of the White House
Station
Inn.
used to be.
okay. Yeah, that's one of the spots that we, so Katie said she gets a lot behind her salon in there,
Yeah.
that area, no?
Yeah, they come in and spray on my front step, just a
Okay.
few down from Katie.
Oh,
My
okay.
grandma lives
Yes.
right there, and she has like a little back to her garage, and it smells so bad. Like they're just in there urinating, and it's
They always find a way to get in there,
well,
regardless if you try.
it's an old garage,
Yeah.
so there's like this much of a gap, and they must go in there and stay warm. I'm assuming.
Shelter, yeah.
I'm sure.
So usually what I ask for city when I go in is cooperation from the city, obviously, we're not really doing anything bad. We tell you all about it, or I do. But what I try, as hard as I possibly can to do, is if we are returning most of these cats, like with the true TNR, is that there is some sort of code that's adopted that shows in however you have everything set up, that even they're no longer like a stray. People can't just take them away from their home. Because that kind of defeats the purpose of TNR, keeping cats in town keeps new cats that are not spayed or neutered out. But yes, I have a code that I could show you that I have written and helped the city write. Other codes that cities have written themselves that are sufficient. I'm assuming you guys have a leash law. I didn't have time to research your codes, so I don't really know what you have.
Sure.
Normally when I come to city councils, I try to know some things, but this one I did not have time. So I'm not sure if you guys are willing to do that, or, obviously think about it, talk about it. But that's a big thing too.
Well, if you could just be in contact with Michelle, our clerk, on getting a copy of our current ordinance, and take a look at that, and then your recommendations.
Yeah.
Advice, take better advisement.
So,
what's TNR?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Well, everybody wanna know.
Right.
Hey, do you want to scoot down?
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Those chairs have shade.
I wasn't sure if I could move it and be worth it. So TNR is trap, neuter, and return. So basically what I do when I go in, and so say somebody calls me for their private house, like you have a farm, and you say, hey, somebody dumped all these cats, and now I have like 30 cats because they had a bunch of babies. Some of them are friendly, some of them I can't touch. And so I would be like, okay, what I can do is I can come in and I can trap, neuter, and return them. If some of them are friendly, I do find placement for them. If there's babies, and they're still sociable, I will find placement for them as well. So trapping, it's a 3-day process is what I tell everybody. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, sometimes it's a little bit quicker. So I go in, we pull all the food 24 hours ahead of time, so they're really hungry, so they're willing to go into the trap. I brought one for an example. So I put the food at the back of the trap, the cat goes in to eat the food, they step on this triplet here, and it closes. Pretty simple. They stay in this trap the entire time, up until they're released, up until surgery, up until they're released. So we overnight them most of the time. We don't take them immediately to the vet. Vets don't have that kind of availability. If they did, it would be so awesome. But then the next day is surgery day, so they get spayed, neutered, vaccinated. Sometimes we do microchips, and then they get ear notched. That's the universal sign of being fixed. So if they were to get retrapped, we would know that they are fixed.
Then we pick them up from the vet, keep them overnight just to make sure everything's okay, make sure that they get a really good meal. And then we bring them back to your farm, your house, and we release them. And they go back to their home, where they know the safe places are, and recover, essentially. So that's in short.
So you work with, private individuals, have you worked with cities as well? Because, so for example, and we'll have to take a look at what your ordinance
Yeah.
suggestions are, because we currently don't allow stray unleashed cats around.
Yep,
So if we're releasing them back, we're technically not in compliance with our own ordinance.
Yes, and that's what most cities say, because I think they most have that, you can't let them go.
Right.
So I think that's where.
It doesn't solve the current problem of territory marking.
That's where I have reached out to a couple farmers in the area that are willing to take some ferals of the overpopulated areas. I wouldn't say completely take, the semi-feral ones might be able to come back into town, but they'd be fixed and notched, so they wouldn't be able to repopulate the city. But then the super feral ones, we might relocate to a farm, and they would be like the mice hunters for the farmers. Because a feral cat's life is completely different than a house cat's life. Right. So with nuisance behaviors like marking, that greatly decreases once you remove the competition and the hormones there. So I mean that's helps tremendously. Yeah. The fixing them. And I guess we've already called around getting the cheapest we could
Right,
find.
so, I mean, we work with Emmitsburg Vet, with our TNR program, but we just can't go over an hour one way to bring these cats. So the best I could do, I called around and talked to a lady in Sioux Center, and she could give us a deal of between 115 and 150 per cat. It depends on if it's a neuter or spay. So, at this time I wasn't really, unsure of how bad this situation really was, and it's pretty bad.
That's where we're applying for grants, we're getting TNR assistance from the state and shelter and stuff like that.
Nothing from the state.
Okay, TNR help where we can get it.
Yeah, we don't get any help from the state. This is solely, grants that we apply for.
So the assistance that we are getting,
donations
and all of that stuff, it's gonna come down to spending $12,000 to get the cat population
and that's
fixed.
100
That's 100 cats.
So,
so that's where we gotta ask Paullina how bad you guys want the cat problem gone.
Right.
I do know a couple business owners that are willing to put jars out for people for pets for donations to help. We are gonna help in the ways that we can with the grants that we can get and not apply for this.
Right, and possibly with the approval of the city, we could possibly come here and do a fundraiser or something to get funds for this, but we just can't.
Any idea is great.
Yeah, we can't pay that much money for,
So I run my TNR program strictly on donations. I would be helping people for pets, I wouldn't necessarily be going through my program, but, and I mean, we don't get tons of donations, so I think, do you guys have a city paper or something that you put out? Or a newsletter?
Newsletter. And Facebook and.
I think that would be something good to put in there, we can help, write something out to, get more people engaged and on board. You had asked earlier if I had worked with some cities, and I have, but cities that are, like Rembrandt, for example, how small Rembrandt is. I worked with them, and that was strictly just me doing the TNR, but, and they have a lot of cats, but they haven't had a litter of kittens born that I have been notified of in 2 years. So, and their population is slowly decreasing. There's something called the vacuum effect. If you, say you wipe out all the cats, there's always going to be another cat that's unfixed, ready to be this pile of logs is perfect to have my babies.
So then you immediately have 20, 30 cats in a few months, and it just starts all over. So you almost have to keep some cats in town, like some cats from colonies, but citizens have to be held accountable too. That's a big thing that a lot of cities struggle to do. You know, the leash laws and, you know, no loose pets, and if the people actually get fined, you know, that those funds could go to continuing the TNR. That's what I suggest anyways, or any fines that you get from any of your animal ordinances, just go into that little bucket or section until it's handled.
Any questions, council members? Michelle? I mean, I think the way it was, you know, the way that we found out about it, I think at the last meeting where we approved it, it was easy to approve because it was a no-cost thing.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a cost thing. I think it's more of getting the funds, however, you know, we can, whether it's fundraisers or, and then having city support with that is a huge thing. And that would be very progressive of Paullina to do that, because I haven't had a single city help me with fundraisers. So I would be very impressed if that happened.
So does what you've seen of our cat issue, where's that at on the spectrum of cities' problems with cats?
Personally, I don't really know Paullina. How many people?
Population of under 1,000.
975 or so.
900 some.
I would guess they're gonna have over 150
Yeah, like,
cats
so
by the end of summer. Yeah.
So
Easily.
Two Rapids, I've TNR'd probably like 75 cats without my papers in front of me, and they're 700. So if you do the math there, you'd probably easily have 100, 150. With my big packet that I usually bring, it's one unspayed, unneutered cat per 7 people. So somebody does the math there, and that's pretty good. It's a pretty solid.
So, once you start a program, how long is it normally until you start seeing a reduction in the number of cats?
Depends on how fast we can do it.
Right, and the vet that I found in Sioux Center, I mean, she's willing to do it, start next week. Like, she's willing to start right now. So, it's gonna take time, but, you know, we're willing to do it if we can have the city support and.
Yeah. If you think about TNR, like, there's a bunch of cats in somebody's house, and the doors are shut on every room, but there's cats, you know, repopulating in each room. And if you go into one room and you fix all of them, there's no babies born in that room, but there's still babies being born over here, so you gotta get those. You know, and then once you get to all the rooms in the house, you know, then eventually that house won't have any new cats.
You mentioned colonies. How big do the colonies get? Just depends on how many kitties they have each time.
Yeah, I mean, females can have up to 4 litters a year, and I mean, I've seen as many as 8 babies but an average is like 4 to 6, so that's
It's a lot of cats by the end of summer.
yeah.
Yeah, if we don't do something now, you're gonna have double the amount by the end of summer.
And I feel you have a lot of different farmers that are interested in taking some,
Yeah.
and do they want them fixed, or would they just take them?
They have to be fixed.
They have to be,
Yes.
they have to be fixed, yeah.
Okay.
No more cats.
So if the farmers are wanting these cats, could it be on them to pay for that then? It would have to be us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can
Yeah,
ask
'cause
for
they-
information
Us out.
from them.
They
Yeah,
can-
us as
they
all
can
have
honestly
to
just go on
together.
Facebook, get another litter of kittens.
And how much did you say it is per?
115 and
It's 115 to 130, or 150, so it depends on if the cat's male, female, you know. Right, neuters are cheaper than spays, so.
I see, sure.
Plus, we would vaccinate them too, we're not gonna.
Right.
not give them rabies or distemper and then have them come back and, you know. So, then you got another problem on your hands.
So if you, and I don't even know if they have programs like community colleges, that they have, with programs that they might want to
Practice. They would,
practice.
that's
So-
like 2 to 3 cats a month.
Yeah, so we go there, we have a program, or we have a, yeah, we're through a program with Iowa Lakes, and they will take like 3 to 5 of our cats that we get in. So any of our friendly cats, they won't do ferals. And that's, yeah, it's every 3 weeks. And it's not, I mean, it's not all year, it's just a few weeks in the
When they're
fall.
learning that course,
Yeah.
or the spay or neuter.
Yeah.
Then I'll
So
reach out
they
and
wouldn't
ask.
be able to help.
Okay.
I don't know if you have like community grant, like we have Clay County Community Grant that I've applied for, you know, for funds. I don't know if O'Brien House
Yeah,
has something
we
like
do.
that.
Yep.
You do, okay. So I mean, I will apply for as many grants as I can, you know, to get help, but.
I also don't know if that's something, because Hartley does have a vet, and since they are in the O'Brien County, if they would be more apt to participate in that, I would suggest you guys reaching out over us for that.
Because that's Animal Medical Center, and
Yeah.
we have a contract with Animal Medical Center in Spencer, but for a feral, we pay $250 to $300. We can't do that with 100 cats, you just can't. So.
And I am willing to come in at a later date and teach a forum, or, you know, have a little forum and then teach a class or however. So like I've gone down to Storm Lake before and taught, you know, trapping and all of that stuff, or if people have questions or, you know, somebody's struggling and really wants help and they want to talk to me or whoever's with me, I'm happy to do something like that too. I think that that'd be some good community engagement, just so people know what's going on and, you know that it's not a bad thing, and, you know, they're not in trouble, or we're not taking their cats away necessarily.
All right, so what do you think? We don't have an action item on the agenda for tonight. You know, we approved the program at the last meeting, the council approved the program. From discussing the budget, we have to put that on the next meeting to determine funding. It'd be nice to get started ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are willing to let us start, you know,
Yes.
we can start.
If you have friendly ones that we can pick up and.
Well,
Well,
even
no,
TNR,
we can
no,
TNR,
we can
yeah.
even do TNR without, you know,
even-
set funding being in place. We can just get started, because if we don't, I mean, it's kitten season.
Yeah.
So,
They're gonna be coming fast.
yeah,
That's also, if we couldn't pick them up, you could also start with adopting them.
yes,
out
because I
and
can
stuff.
take the
Yes.
friendly, I'll add them onto our transport and I can take the friendly ones. So,
And they'll find
no, we can
homes
start as soon
easily,
as,
yeah.
we can start this week even. But we just also, I don't know if you can put something like on your Facebook and make the city aware that this is what we're doing, you know. Our traps are your traps
This is
labeled?
all of them but this one.
So our traps are labeled, I would just tell them, you know, if you see the traps, leave them where they're at. You know, this is what People for Pets and we're doing as, you know, a team, so.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any city property or anything that has cats.
Yes.
That we could start at. I feel like that would be a good starting point because
Yeah.
Shop.
the shop.
Yeah.
Is that like by the, grain
That's
bins?
where, yes, by the grain bins and stuff, where we drove that back alley area.
Now, as far
Hatchery.
as putting the traps like in you know, people's yards, what do we have there? Do we have to get their permission or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because isn't there something, well, that might,
Yes,
Be
what,
low.
what is the city ordinance for cats in a house, like that person can own in the town of Paullina?
You can have 5 animals total, so if you have 2 dogs, you have 3 cats. If you have 5 cats, you have 5 dogs.
I didn't know we even had that. So you have 5 animals in your house, huh?
Yep.
How about birds?
you're sitting there counting your animals like.
You'll have canaries and all that kind of stuff.
So another big step, I think, for the city is to inform our citizens that we need to take food away, right?
Yes.
24 hours prior.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't do it any sooner than that.
Have we fined anybody for those that are feeding the cats?
It's not against ordinance to feed them.
It isn't?
No. They have to
thought
be.
that it was.
They have to be like a wild animal, like a possum.
Cat food tracks it?
Huh?
Do you have cat food tracks it?
It's not against ordinance.
No, it's not.
Never heard of
I
that.
thought that if they fed it, like, they should be claiming it as them, as theirs.
There's nothing in our ordinance.
Okay.
No,
So-
I have tricks and stuff too,
Well, I
to
was
catch
gonna say-
to catch cats that, maybe have eaten and not super hungry, so. I have not once set out to catch a cat and I did not catch it, so. But there's ways.
So it sounds like we're gonna wanna take a look at our ordinances too, ongoing,
Changes,
otherwise,
updating.
Yeah.
otherwise the problem will
We'll
reoccur.
continue,
I
yeah.
can tell you that my dad would like to put a trap on his lawn.
And like I said, I'm happy to do all the ins and outs and go way far into depth, you know?
And if you even have an example of an ordinance that another
Yes,
city
I
has
do.
adopted, that would be great too.
Yeah, I think there's, I can't remember off the top of my head if it's the city of Ankeny or the city of Des Moines that has a really good one.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, it's a big one. So, I don't think they need to be that big, but it's kind of cool looking how far they went into that one.
Does Spencer have a decent one?
Spencer doesn't have an
Ordinance
ordinance,
with,
no.
no.
Nothing?
No, it's really hard to get, yeah,
Some
that to do.
Fun fact, Iowa is one of the bottom states for their animal care. We are at the very bottom.
And we've done a lot of TNR in Spencer. I mean, last year I did 165 total. And that's not just Spencer, that's, I mean, other places in Clay County, and then if I need to step out, I've helped like Palo Alto County a lot, so. Yeah.
So how does Spencer cover the cost there? Do they budget as a city? Did they do
Of the
fundraising?
TNRs?
Yeah.
They don't. With our, so if the cat comes in through impound, so through a cop, or, the police, if someone calls in a stray cat and the police pick it up, then we have a contract with the city and we get a discount. The city pays for rabies, and then we get a discount with Animal Medical Center. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it is, but, so we do get a discount with them. But if somebody just brings in a feral cat and says, I need, this one fixed, it costs us $250 to $300. Yeah, it's crazy, so. And I think that,
Neuter your pets.
yes, yeah. I think Hartley is Animal Medical Center too, and I know that's the closest to here, so,
That's the only
but,
vet clinic in O'Brien County, and Marcus is gonna be your closest though.
yeah, but I think it'll still cost us,
Yes.
$250 to $300.
Oh, yeah, she would.
And I don't know if I can talk to
She
you
went
an
out.
hour and see if we can get like.
I don't know what you need by for name,
Sorry.
or is it just her name?
Advance to people.
Or is it Stoll?
I just.
Dave Stoll.
Yeah.
But it's Adam.
It's
Adam.
No,
Yeah.
Dave Adam, it's Adam's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie, no, Jamie Stoll.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Jamie Stoll.
I already contacted her.
You did.
Okay.
And
It
she
was-
wasn't interested, or?
No, I didn't really seem like it. She was gonna charge us, I think it was 210. Jamie, so her cat, and then she just, at the end of the message, she just kind of said good wishes, so I think she wasn't really interested. But the Sioux Center lady was like, oh my gosh, yes, let's do it. There's another lady that's gonna come and help and trap them, so.
You've never talked to Hartley though, right?
I didn't. I can,
They're with AMC.
but they're with AMC.
Which
Yeah,
is
we
a
already
different-
know the cost
yeah.
of it, and it's a lot.
They're
Oh,
sisters.
Like double,
Corporations,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah. So, essentially, I would love to go to Emmitsburg, because we pay 80, 60 to 90, whatever, but we can't drive
Yeah,
that
it would
far.
just be a wash with the.
Yeah.
With the gas and the time.
Can we go back to Sioux Center and say, look, we've got a lot of cats.
can you come down in price at all, or was she kind of locked into that price?
She's giving us a deal with the vaccinations that have, so we obviously have to do rabies, and then we do the distemper. We'll microchip them, they'll ear notch, the females will get a tattoo, so that you know females are spayed. I think that was it, we don't do fetal testing. I feel like I'm missing something. If the females like need a convenient shot or whatever, they'll do that. So we're getting a deal on that part,
Okay.
which is fine. So.
What do you think, Council, with the next act, we'll put on the next agenda,
Yeah, we can think about it,
Decision.
decide.
Yeah.
Yep,
which will be 2 weeks.
yep, 2
for the
weeks.
next meeting.
Yeah, and I can give you my phone number if you wanna like call me or text me, like email address and, 712.
Do we have any discretion, can they get started and we can cover? Kind of go ahead and do it. but-
260-7127. And then I can get you the ordinances and, maybe, if you could, do you guys have a map of the city? Okay, that'd be super helpful. Because I like to, I'm one of those people that likes to like pin things up and like mark them with a red circle and be like, done here.
Yeah, we'll let you know when we're gonna start, if that's fine. We'll just, I'll call
And maybe the
Michelle.
city should.
Yeah.
Don't we need to look at our budget first?
Yeah, we gotta check
Yeah.
all this out.
Well, we wanna get started
We
before,
want to help no matter
Yeah,
what.
and we're not
Yeah.
necessarily asking for money from the
It's-
city. If you did give us money, to give money towards the TNR, like that would be amazing.
Yes.
But I think what we're essentially asking is help, like facilitating like donations and grants and stuff like that, more than money directly from the city.
Yes.
But if you can get grants and donations first, you know, we want you to do that first.
It's a problem, it needs help.
right,
It's gonna
and we
get
wanna
worse,
help, right,
so
right.
something has to be done.
Yeah.
So yeah, friendly ones, we might start picking up next week to get on the
Right,
adoption
right,
board.
we can start picking up friendly ones this week,
Yeah.
you know.
So once you pick them up, once you start it, you're not expecting us to like go back and pay you for the
No.
ones that
No,
you can
no,
start?
no, no. We,
You
I mean, like we
would
said,
like to
you-
have donations
Yeah,
and all of
get them
that.
fixed, find them a home, that's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to help these cats and the city, you know, so,
They're gonna be drowning in cats by next year,
Right.
if nothing happens.
so if you can, you know, contribute, that'd be great, but otherwise, if we can come here and do like a fundraiser some weekend or something like that, you know, we're just looking for your
I
help.
think a lot of people would be receptive to it because a lot of people really want something done about it.
Right.
Yeah, so I think
Just
too, there'd be
setting up
probably more
donations
donations than what you.
I agree with
Donation
that.
helps.
Yep.
Which I know there's people in Paullina that are gonna laugh about it and walk away, but
Mhm.
anything helps.
Even if it's their change or
Yes.
something,
Yeah, it
put it
doesn't
in
matter.
there, you
Yes,
know,
it
at a.
helps.
So that's what we're looking for.
Good. Okay, great.
Sounds good.
And if you guys have any questions or anything that you think of afterwards, if you text me or call me and get the email, you can send me all the questions in the email and stuff like that, and I can answer them.
Okay.
So,
Kayla's very knowledgeable.
Sounds good.
We do have a couple of those traps too, so.
Okay. Yeah, that's the thing, we can't bring like, 30 of them to the vet, but,
you know, have to get
anywhere.
her limit.
Right, 10 to 15,
That'll be the biggest thing, is getting people willing to trap them, and we have to figure out transporting them there and then bringing them
And I
back to.
think that's kind of where the, like if I were to come in or we come back and I teach, I think that's where we can kind of get some volunteers.
And I do have a couple
and-
people that are willing, that have reached out from Paullina that are willing to help with transport and trapping and stuff already, so that is helpful.
All right,
Okay, sounds good.
Mike, thanks for your help.
Yeah.
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, so we'll be back then, what is it, March, or May?
April.
April.
April 21st.
Can't think, guys, sorry. Okay, that sounds good.
This is
Awesome.
14th, it's supposed to be 21st, right?
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, that's true. Thanks.
See you, gals.
Bye. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 8, Wonderland Theater.
Okay, I'm sorry I was late.
Hey, you were ahead. Deal.
Good, I got to hear that. What about pets that are around the house? I won't pick up pets that are, cat that's around the house.
Outside?
You're
I
supposed to
asked
be
If it's-
outside loose.
If they're not.
She said if their ear is not,
If their ear's notched?
Ear's notched.
I would say if you had a,
It
Collar.
should have a
No,
collar,
yeah.
right?
no, she said if it's, doesn't have a collar and it's got a notched ear,
Well, Precious
turn
is
it loose.
spayed and,
yes, but how many of them are gonna have that done?
Well, I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, but I mean, right now you don't.
But they
Yeah.
actually could put a trap by our house. We
Uh-huh.
get all sorts
Oh.
of cats.
Oh, I bet you do.
Perfect.
I
They
think
like-
I jinxed it because I said we hadn't had any and then they started talking about this and now they're all over.
Oh my gosh, they, yeah.
Okay, Wonderland Theater.
Okay, thanks for putting me on the agenda. So, we have a projector that is 13 years old. The life of the projector is 10 to 11 years. So we're 2 or 3 years past. It's doing okay. We have to do a few things every once in a while to get it to go. I had the people from Omaha that take care of the projector up and to get a quote on what a new projector will be because it's coming fast. In fact, we have a big red light on the projector, which is something you really don't
Not
want.
supposed to be there.
Yeah, not supposed to be there. And I thought it was because we had one of our backup batteries was bad. And he switched the batteries around and the light didn't change. And then he looked more and it's more of an internal problem. So it's still working and he did say, you know, if it died tomorrow, they will help us finish out our season. But we need to, I'm trying to be proactive. And actually, I really don't know if I'm looking at getting another projector for this summer. I would even like to hold it off because we need more funds. We raised $8,500 with our popcorn buckets.
Good.
We're going to do that again next year. Next January, we'll start again with a different color bucket, and I think people really like it. They like, you know, to just bring it in and get free popcorn. But I want to write a grant for the O'Brien County Foundation. They've always been very generous and they like the theater. I mean, I feel like they understand that we don't just serve Paullina, we serve O'Brien County, we really serve Northwest Iowa. We get a lot of people from Orange City, a lot of people from Marcus. And we've had a great year. We've had great movies. We really are doing real well this year. So, but a new projector is going to be $45,000. So that is a brand new projector. It will take less energy. It will not have to be vented, which is a big deal. So it will run much cooler. We'll be able to download the movies right from the internet rather than, right now I have to actually get a disc, or not a disc, I have to get a tape that we download to our server and then we build the movie and go from there. Every one of those that I get is $40, so that'll save us $120 a month on just not having to do that. What I'm asking for is, and you all have done this before, for the city to be our financial sponsor because the movie theater is not a 501(c)(3). 501(c)(3). Anyway, we are a little different. We are a nonprofit, but we do have savings, and so we couldn't be a 501(c)(3) because of that. So we are a nonprofit, but so anyway, I'm asking for the city to be our financial sponsor in this grant, and I'm asking the foundation. I'm waiting to get our total numbers of what we've saved for the projector, because we do have just a fund for the projector. I think it's around 11 or 12,000 that we have saved for it.
And that's, I'm gonna ask the foundation for 15. Most likely, they will probably match what we have, which is fine. I mean, it's very generous. So we have, my next thought is we may have to get a short-term loan. And then I'm looking at some other grants to write to get the rest. So that would put us at anywhere from 22,000, 23,000. That 15,000 would be, 26, 27,000. So
Does that count your 8,500 too?
that 11 counts the 8,500.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in there. So that's fine here.
So I've been looking at because the O'Brien County grant, we also were looking at doing that for the electronic sign. For the city.
Okay.
So we have a couple different quotes that
Okay.
we're going to use to apply for that as well. Probably around 30,000 for that. So that's just something that we're gonna have to discuss as a council of what we're wanting to do. We talked about getting this electronic sign that we do desperately need to.
Right.
But it's gonna have to be a decision on what we wanna do. And we'll have to make that tonight though, because it's due on the 15th.
Right.
So can we do for the city and also for the theater?
No.
No?
I don't think you can because it's gotta
Because I
be
know
one
fire-
financial sponsor.
Fire department does theirs separate when they did theirs.
But aren't they have their own.
Fire
Yeah,
department
because they don't
does
have to be
city
sponsored.
Oh.
You run
Okay.
under
Okay, so if she
our,
runs under
Okay.
us, then we can't do our own
Okay.
again. Okay, I never
it
thought
would
of
be one
that.
or the other.
Okay.
I see.
So do you have to be a 501c3 to actually?
You have to be a city or a
A
nonprofit.
municipal,
Yeah.
so
Nonprofit.
What's the city?
A 501.
no, we're just a
We're
municipal.
Yeah, the city is not 501c3.
So then can we submit for one?
Yes.
Cities are eligible.
The cities are eligible, that's just the criteria, no statutes or whatever to back that up. Okay.
Okay.
The chamber is a 501c3,
Oh, okay.
and
So you might be able to sponsor it.
at our meeting, we were behind the ball, so we didn't have anything, we weren't gonna be able to come up with, be ready to apply.
Okay. Wow, okay.
I don't have the power to
Yeah.
approve that myself.
That would be helpful though.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we could
could
reach out to the board of directors on that to get a quick
A vote.
quick
Okay.
vote.
Okay.
And you have everything ready to go, to be written?
Yeah, I just need, and I also need your tax form showing that you're a,
And if you don't, I've got that.
I don't have it, but I think Katie does.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to see either organization miss out on any of this if possible.
I know it.
Well, it's not guaranteed.
It
No,
isn't.
it's not. It's not a guarantee, and
No, but-
we're trying to raise the funds ourselves, but, I know the theater is something that, arts and entertainment is something that's what they want to give to, and they've,
I mean, we could probably
It still
do it
benefits our
tomorrow,
community.
like,
Oh,
the
great.
vote
Okay.
tomorrow.
that'd be great. Yeah, she says
Well,
it's due the
the
15th.
library was gonna go for a grant too again. Are they on their own?
Yeah,
They are, okay.
So the theater actually has a foundation too besides the regular board of directors or not, or?
No,
You just have your checkbook.
right.
So what's your high and low numbers?
High, what do you mean, high and low numbers?
What you have and what you think you might have?
Well, and the reason I don't know, I we have a new treasurer, and so I'm not positive where our account is, but we've kept that all separate, our fundraising for the projector. We've been fundraising for about a year and a half. Because we knew this was going to happen. We've had some issues, and I'm just trying to get through the season. I'm just hoping it doesn't break down. But anyway, to answer your question, I mean, I know we made 8,500, we made a little more than that on the buckets. And so we sold 85 buckets. And we, Danny, I know it's probably around 11 or 12 is what we have in that fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you get a projector, once that time comes
Yes.
and your funds are depleted, then kind of down to not much, would you ever consider doing a nonprofit status yourself, the Wonderland Theater?
Well, the problem is we have an over 100-year-old building. And so that's why we've always had extra money, because if the roof goes out, we have to have money to put in the roof. And we you know, I mean, that's why we've always had a savings for other things, for things that have to be fixed. So, and I don't know tax laws, I mean, I don't know tax rules of being a nonprofit in that category, but my understanding is that's why we aren't, because we have too much in savings.
Okay.
Which, is that a bad thing?
I wouldn't think that alone would
Yeah.
from being a
I,
501c3.
and this is before my time. We have
But maybe
done
look
this.
into that here again, though.
Okay,
Just because I think there's a lot of things that the city, you know, could really use these yearly grants. And so can you. I just think that there would be, you know, missed opportunities if you didn't have that nonprofit status. If you know, the city is planning on doing more of that.
yeah,
I think if you get over a certain amount in your bank accounts, then you have to file a tax report or whatever with your 501c3 status.
Which I think we still do. I think the chamber still does, but it's a
There's a limit
certain
to it, isn't
one.
there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
There's an amount you can.
Yep.
If you get over that amount, then you gotta report it.
Okay.
Which then you end up paying, I think, paying taxes on it. Yeah.
okay,
So that may not benefit you.
right.
well,
right.
and then your nonprofit, like the 501c3, or if they have the C6 and all of that kind of stuff, then those donations are actually tax deductible. So if you don't have a nonprofit, then they truly aren't tax deductible for those that are donating.
Okay, okay.
Well, I'd be interested in knowing your final number when you get to it, so
Okay,
let me know.
yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Thinking about, you'd like to ask for like 15, you said.
Yeah, I would. And then, you know, they can decide
We
what.
should ask for 45.
Just go for it. Well, if I had that 15 was the max I could have, otherwise, yeah, I would. But I am, like I said, I am looking at some other grants, and trying to put something together, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so thanks.
So if you can work with the chamber, that'd be perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would, thank you.
As long as these chamber members approve it.
Yeah.
They're a pretty tough group, I guess. Well, I'm not a member of the chamber, I'm not on the board.
Okay.
So the chamber had to call a
They have
special
their own
meeting.
Yeah.
Probably would, I don't know, ask Chris.
Yeah.
She said yes.
Oh, sorry, what now?
Special meeting to.
Chamber had to call a
Yeah, we'll get
special
that,
meeting to
we'll get that done tomorrow.
The chamber's not working on anything else. with that.
No, we decided, you know, it just wasn't enough time for some things up in the air. I think this kind of fell into the lap of the chambers in the right time, so I think hopefully, yeah.
No, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
Very nice.
very good.
So if that would work, then we wouldn't act on this resolution for the city to be the sponsor.
Just table it.
Well,
We
I
don't
don't,
table it, we can just dismiss it.
Just to act on it.
because regardless if you do it through the city or the chamber,
Yeah.
it's the same.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
You don't care.
No, I don't care. As long as
The
it's
submission
yeah.
part is the same.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
I don't foresee anybody being against it. Okay.
I wouldn't think so either.
I'll
Yeah,
just,
neither, this is for the.
she's gonna give me a little info and I'll send a text out to vote tonight.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Hey,
You bet.
thanks Cindy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And keep Precious in, is that what you're telling me?
Just get her a cute little collar.
Yes.
Collar
Pink
on it.
collar.
Then they know she's yours.
Yeah.
Can't run around town with the collar.
With a really long leash.
Yeah, I know.
Post office.
She just
here we
stays
go.
around the house, really.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cindy.
Yep.
All right, so we're not taking action on item B of item 8, so move on to item agenda number 9, Jim Marie.
All right. I gave everybody a paper. So we're just ahead of the game this year on the Jamboree. Just kind of a rundown of what is planned. I'm not gonna read you it all unless you really want me to.
Denny is interested in yoga in the park.
Yeah, there'll be a sign up at a later date.
I'm interested, but watching other people.
Like, take videos or
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
For the parade lineup, there doesn't need to be any street closures there, which I think that's been the same in the past. At the end is the request for what we are asking for from the city. The side streets from Zion down to Commerce could be closed at 11:30, so that way we can get vehicles off the street beforehand.
What time
And
is
then-
the parade?
1.
One.
And then Main Street at the boulevard where it turns around, just have that blocked off so that way traffic isn't coming in.
People will still come down, they usually see the block there,
Yeah.
and then they turn around and go back. And we talked about in the past too, to have like this, like a standing resolution for these street closures, because they're always the same
Yeah, the
every
parade
year.
route's never gonna change.
And you guys pretty much so know, which ones, and it just kind of shows which ones we need. We did find, we were putting the barricade, like,
Carol's.
kind of in front of hers, but there was too much
There's no room
congestion
for
right
them
up
to turn
there.
around in there once they get in.
So we thought just right at the highway there, so there's no congestion, nothing. It's just
All the
easier that
upset 'cause
way.
they like to park down that
They
street,
do, but it's just, it's a mess, and then this person backs into this person, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's not conducive to what we're.
Yep.
I do have an addition here, Steve and I talked before the meeting. The car show, he thinks will be fine at the west end by the park like it was last year. That, he said that worked well with the softball, so.
Perfect.
And if they get more cars, they can still park on both sides of the street since the road will be closed. And then just like have the garbages emptied Saturday morning or Friday afternoon. And just maybe if like the guys can check around for trees to be trimmed. Last year when the food trucks were coming in, we ended up going and getting a pole saw and we had to cut some because people were like walking into them. So it should maybe still be good for this year, but just check that out ahead of time if time allows.
And just a couple new things, the community breakfast. We had asked the fire department and ambulance together to host that in the current station. And then having the community church service in the park on that Sunday. We're hoping people want to go to the church and see, just kind of what the emergency medical, or the station that they have right now, just how it doesn't work,
Doesn't get.
Mm-hmm.
And then the goal is like for the church, every other year it'll be, like this year it's gonna be Presbyterian, and then next year will be Zion.
But You don't have
What's
the
that?
times for your church or any of that yet?
Not
Just
complete.
It's like 10:30. Katie was talking with Charlotte with Presbyterian. Then like the breakfast would be before. We were just kind of talking about, well, people just want to go to the breakfast and not to the community church service, do we make, just trying to get some logistics figured out. But it will be in the morning though.
So Michelle, on the agenda,
Yeah.
your,
No, it should be 26, sorry. No, that's
No,
right.
No.
it's 25.
Right, you're right.
no.
Were you just thinking 2026?
Yeah.
Me too. The whole time that I was doing stuff, I was putting 2026.
Well, it's
Like,
because I'm working in the budget for 25.
Oh, sure.
My exam now is for 23, 24, and we're in the 24, 25 budget.
yeah, I have no excuse.
So here, so this motion to approve 2025 Jamboree, this is not technically the street closure yet?
No.
That'll be a
Yeah.
separate
Right.
one. And this is just the council approving the concept of having the Jamboree on those dates, is that right?
Just because it's on city ground, it's on city property, and there's gonna be a lot of people coming in, so just to make sure that everything is good. And then maybe when you do that resolution, then if it could be a standing resolution for those, that way it could just be automatically in there for those street closures, and if for some reason we change it, then
Then
we
we have to
can.
come back.
Yep.
So, I entertain a motion for approval of the 2025 Jamboree as the dates noted.
Make a motion to approve the 2025 Jamboree, Friday, June 27th, Saturday, June 28th, and Sunday, June 29th, 2025.
I would second that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right. Item number 10, nuisance violations. Are you going through that or is this?
Thanks, Kelly.
Sure.
Okay, so we're moving on to item number 10. A is regarding the property at 313 East Broadway.
I did attach emails and from,
We are here at
okay.
page 31.
If you read 29, the email we received from our attorney, he's recommending to ask the court for administrative search warrant, which this would allow them to enter the property with the contractor to ascertain exactly what's needed to bring the property up to be livable. Mwamba did call today, and he does have all the water ready to be hooked up by the city. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
It's 313. Is that the address? 313.
So I can't just move forward with whatever here. This is gonna have to be the council's decision on what to do.
This is
Yeah.
way too much,
Yeah,
because it's been sitting empty since when?
2012?
2012?
2011 is when.
2011?
Yeah.
Last time somebody was in it?
Well, that was theirs possession, yeah.
It was an issue when I was on the council before, so.
Right. It's been sitting
Same
there.
issues.
Yep, same thing. For how many years?
I don't know if I can explain to them why the water
Yes.
is turned off.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. In that property, I mean, we had been doing, some work. I know that it took longer than probably what could be the time given.
but every time I work with the city, the previous mayor who was here, I believe that he was there, he came with Kelly to the property and he looked at the property also. Outside, everything the city had asked, it has been done. And there was water, except that, I mean, not except, but the pipe that was there, it was an old pipe. It was galvanized, and every time, I mean, it was having just holes. And until I asked the city that if they could turn off the water, and for me to have enough money to change the pipe. And that is what was done. They just finished the work recently. I can't remember exactly when they finished that work. And also, this is taking time because I live paycheck by paycheck. And to buy material, to do the job, it requires really, I mean, like just for them to do to change the pipe from the house to the street, it has taken me time to have at least enough to pay them. That's why it's taking time. And if I had enough money, I believe that, I mean, this work would be done within a year or within 2 years. But it's just that, I mean, because living paycheck by paycheck, it makes it also difficult. But anything the city had asked before, with the previous mayors, with the previous administration, it has been done. They asked me outside to side the house. It has taken me a little bit of time, but at least I came with that money to put a siding on the house. And for water, they had asked me to have at least, I mean, water. It has been done. And up to now, that's why I'm just working, I mean, bit by bit on that, on the house.
Is the entire house plumbed? Or just the irrigation meter? Is this just for the irrigation meter? Or is the entire house ready to have water hooked up to?
The entire house, I mean, it's ready up to the kitchen.
So are you gonna end up living in the house, or is it gonna be up for sale, or what?
When I finished that house, really, I mean, I was thinking to move to live there, but really, I don't know. It's just that when I finish it, then at that time, I can see what can be done.
Nate, is that truck there, is that licensed currently?
I haven't checked recently.
Okay.
I know it wasn't at one point, but yeah, it's been a while since I checked it.
Okay.
I think it has a storage license.
Yeah, it has a storage license because that's when Brenda was also there, and she told me just that you can get the storage license, and since then it has been I licensed it as a storage because I was using it for my business at the mall, but when after COVID we closed the business, and now it's.
I know the registration in the past has been an issue, that's why I asked the question.
And is it full of junk?
I think there is some stuff on it.
It's been on that way for how long, though? I mean, why do you not dump it or get rid of it?
I don't know, I mean, the junk,
On the trailer?
On that trailer. I'm talking on the trailer.
No, on the trailer there is only bricks.
Only bricks?
Yeah.
I thought it looked like there was a whole bunch of crap on it, just going by.
Yeah, that was bricks, but I will go again. If anything else is on top there, I will just move it.
Are we having just minimums, or is it going to be just water that we are requiring?
Per our ordinance now, it's water and sewer.
Okay.
No electric.
No,
which doesn't include irrigation.
that's not
water.
irrigation, it has to be water and
Instead of an
sewer.
irrigation meter, that
And
has to be
with
a second meter. not-
Water and sewer, does that mean full house, only into the house? What does that constitute as?
It has to be, Kelly has to be able to hook up water and sewer to the house.
So you can open any faucet.
Not to the, no, not necessarily to the, probably to every faucet, but it's like he has to be able to hook
Needs to
up
be
to the
able to.
main sewer outlet and the main water inlet, I would presume.
And the water's been done, Kelly, right? Okay, what about the sewer? Is that just the sewer, it's always been the sewer?
So it doesn't have just an irrigation, it has a full water meter then?
But they don't have an account for the water.
Yeah,
and
there's no
sewer,
full
right?
water
So-
meter account, it's just irrigation, that's all he's ever had.
And that, isn't that a second meter?
That's a second, that, yeah, it'd be a second meter.
Irrigation is generally for people who just hook it up to like their outside spigots and then
Right.
it doesn't go through the sewer, so then you don't get charged sewer for it.
Right. So that's not the way that house is plumbed, I presume, right? So they should have an actual water and sewer account, right? So that should be set up. In the letter here that was sent out February 20th, it still talks about, you know, the utilities, of course, but registering the truck and trailer and cleaning the truck and trailer of junk. Is any, you know, so that's what was done here. Is that not, that has not been done, right?
Because in the letter I had received, I did not really, because it was about the house and about the truck.
And trailer. Truck and trailer.
Okay.
Is unregistered.
Where's the trailer in this?
The second
Truck and
one,
trailer.
unregistered truck and trailer?
Page 33.
Yeah.
Which one? I looked at this one, February 20th.
And there's another one.
Yeah, I think you can.
Not that we'll do this, but would you be willing to let a representative of the city and a contractor go and visit that house, go inside and see what needs to be done to get it up to, so somebody can live in it?
Yeah, I can let them, Brenda had come there, I was open for them
She's
to
no longer
look.
around, so
No.
this is who you have to deal with now.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that.
I guess it's been in your possession since 2011, and with how many years now? 14 years, or 13, I think it was towards the end of 2011 when you had purchased. You know, you would think that it would be finished, or there would be more completion on that to create, you know, a livable home. So I think at this point, I think we almost need to have a timeline then, if something's going to be done.
But I do agree that we need somebody to go through it and see if it's actually livable, or what's gonna take to get it livable. So,
Just seems like a common occurrence that there's always, every year, there's always these nuisances. I'm sure you're tired of hearing from us too, you know.
well, it's just that it's taken so long.
Have you ever thought about wanting to sell it and just kind of cut your losses, or?
I had asked Brenda when she was coming there, I asked her that, if the city can just buy it, if the city want to buy it, that will be fine, because it's, right now it's like, it's frustrating for you, for the city administration, all the time they drive there, even the way it looks, outside, because before getting that house, I believe that everybody who lived here in Paullina had seen the way that house was. It was outside, it was completely a disaster. And right now, the way it looks far better than the way it was even, a few years ago. And we have siding, we have, outside, beside the trailer, that have bricks. Really, there is nothing really, to complain about the house. But It's just that, I mean, to avoid that, I mean, it's the frustration from the city. If the city want to buy it, I'll be more than happy to let just the city buy it, and then I can be out of here, because it's just a frustration to see that when I drive around to see, I mean, other house the way it is compared to this one, and it's just a frustration also from, I mean, at my side, because I know that I don't have enough money to come up 40,000 or 50,000 just to buy material, come at once in 30 days or 90 days to be done with.
Has anybody from the community ever reached out to you at all, or to want to purchase it?
There was a guy who approached me to purchase, but I mean, what he had says, that was not really, I mean, the amounts.
Sure.
Because right now, I mean, we had spent, I mean, quite a lot, I mean, to get it, I mean, to deposit, I mean, to the point where it is now.
Because the upgrades that you have put on, or put into it, has been the siding, correct? That's the upgrades that you have done.
We put a siding, water, I mean, new water line, and also, I mean, the other things inside I had removed all the old plaster.
Like plaster and lath?
Yeah. And all of that's work, I mean, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
So can I ask a question? It's been 13 years or so. What was your intent when you purchased it? What was your intent to do with this house? You were going to move into it, or were you going to flip it?
My intent was that, I mean, it was a nice place, and I mean, people I had met here, they were friendly people. That time Sean was working here, and other people, I mean, they were friendly and they were really, I mean, nice. And then when I got the house, I say, okay, it's a nice place. You know, I use that I fix it, and I'm getting older. I can move to, I mean, to that place. But now, seeing, I mean, what is going on is like, should I really move in, or, you know, or what else I have to do?
If you go back to Attorney Klinker's recommendation, he's got the recommendation to move forward with the administrative search warrant. What do you want to do? Does the council want to do something that formal, or do you want to do something less than that? I think what he's trying to get at maybe is trying to move it forward versus stretching it out year after year after year.
It's been too long.
At this point, it needs action.
Yeah, right, it's been too long. But I do think maybe Denny's idea, a couple people would want to go in and check it out and see what they feel. I don't know.
I think that's kind of what that warrant is. You would get a contractor to go in there.
Right.
To kind of evaluate how much that would be.
Yeah.
And that would be, yeah, and that would be following the official
Yep.
judgment.
Right. But we can always do that. My thought is save the money.
Right.
At this point, if Mr. Mwamba is willing to, or a couple of our representatives go with him, look at the house and see what it's like. And then if it doesn't work out, then we still have the legal avenue to take, so.
Would we need to reach out to Thor then and see if that is an option?
No, it is, we haven't.
That we can go in ourselves without him doing that?
Yeah, with Mwanda's permission.
Yes.
Yeah, just not going through, you have to get the administrative search warrant.
Well,
And we might want Ford to go along with, because you know, he knows steps, it's just taking an hour or a half hour of his
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I agree.
So you would be
That
agreeable for some representatives of the city with their attorney to go through the house and take a look, or not?
Yeah, I can go with them, and for them to have a look, and that won't be an issue.
Okay. Well, just so
Because you'll need to go in too, though, won't you, Kelly, to
If you
get
want
that?
representatives of the city, then
Yep.
definitely go in.
you can go in
And see the sewer, water.
if all that's gonna be workable or what it's gonna take to make it workable.
So I'd entertain a motion for whatever action the council would like to take next.
I would make a motion that 3 to 4 representatives from the city meet with Mr. Mwamba to enter the property and take a look at it by by April 30th. Does that make sense? I'm shooting from the hip here, but.
No, I think that sounds good. I'll second your motion. By April 30th, you said, right?
Yeah. To inspect, inspect it there.
City reps.
Is that doable, April 30th on your end? That gives you 7 today.
Really, I don't have a choice, I mean, yeah,
Right.
but
So
we
we
can
do
just go
appreciate you
like
working with us.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll have to set up a time, or Michelle can set up a time with you and get everybody and what works for you.
Did I get to inspect the property in that motion?
Right.
Do you? Are you one of the 3, 4?
We better vote quick, because I might be changing it again.
Okay, so we have a motion by Danny, second by Carol. Any other questions, discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye.
Okay.
You've got his contact info.
Do we have your phone number?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sounds good.
Do we?
Do you need it again?
You
Yeah, I
have
better
it.
have it again.
Why don't you write it down? Okay, thanks for being here.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Michelle, 10B.
Vanessa. Hi. I'm seeing if there's a possibility that we can update the policy for, or the ordinance for the chickens that have ducks. My boys are raising ducks for 4-H. And we've been raising them since the summer, so we've had them almost a year. I mean, they're fairly quiet. I mean, if you have any questions on them, you can ask. The only time I hear them is, when they're outside, is if someone's in our alley. They're
In
better.
a fenced-in area then?
They have a coop, little dog kennel in the back behind our garage, and they pretty much put themselves to bed. I mean,
But you have a fence around so they
yeah,
don't
there's
go
a
to the
fence around
neighbors.
them, and I've checked with all of our neighbors, they're fairly fine with them being there. The lady down the street gets eggs from us, so, at the price of eggs right now, yeah. Because our ducks are overproducing right now, so they're,
One of the things to keep in mind is that this wouldn't be a variance thing, because that's not a zoning.
Right.
It would be, we would have to amend our city ordinances.
Because we don't have ducks, right?
Right.
You just have chickens.
yeah, we got into, there was a few other people that I heard that they were in town, so it's like, oh, this kinda, the boys were looking at something kind of unique to raise for 4-H besides chickens. And these guys, they have a lot, the ducks have a lot of personality. They come up to it, if you're having a bad day, go outside and watch them swim around in their pool.
And these are just strictly outside, they're not inside, correct?
Yeah, they're outside. Right now, they're cooped up right now because it's too cold for them.
But outside in
Yeah,
a
they're,
coop?
yeah, they're outside, so.
Okay. So you have like a
At
little
least a lot of
doghouse or
them
what?
inside, I understand, right?
What?
Did you have them in your basement? At one time we had, during the winter we had them in, but our basement's not really attached to our house, so you can't. I mean, it is, but I mean, you have to go through our breezeway to get through it, to it, so. But they're, I mean, we didn't want, I mean, our ducks are supposed to be cold hardy, but we weren't gonna, when it got into the negatives, then they came inside for a short time, just so that they wouldn't freeze.
So did you check with the city when you brought your ducks in? See if you could bring them in?
No, they went right back outside too, after they went right.
No, but I
But
mean,
regardless,
When you
regardless, the
got
ordinance said
ducks, did you
chickens.
check with the city or the ordinances if they were allowed or not?
Yes.
No. Like I said, there was a few other people that I know that did have ducks in town, so that's why we did. I'm like, I don't know names of people, but I know I've heard them in town, so.
I guess I've never heard of any ducks, chickens, but.
Chickens, but that's in our ordinance, so.
Mhm.
I guess it just kind of scares me. What will be the next thing? We'll have to have.
I mean, I think why, if I understand why you got the letter is because ducks aren't allowed.
Right, they're not allowed.
And you want
Right,
to-
we kind of want to keep them being, like I said, they're raising them for 4-H. They showed them during the O'Brien County Fair last year for Clover kids. And the judge was really impressed with these particular birds, so, you know, he said if they continue to be raised the way they are, they're bluebird birds, so.
Do you have other family members that they could have them out in the front country?
No, my brother-in-law does not want them out there, because they don't have luck with ducks out in their farm.
Really?
They either get killed by like raccoons or.
No. So, well, they'd have to put them inside in a coop or a building
Right,
or
at night,
something.
that's what you have
At
to do.
nights. Yeah.
And it's kind of hard, you know, it's kind of hard for them to go out and take care of them when it's their 4-H project.
And we currently, it's 5 chickens, correct?
Right.
That's the max.
5 chickens, no rooster, but.
5 chickens, no roosters.
And with that
duck.
chicken ordinance, it has to be outside.
Right.
Yeah. So then that, despite the cold temperatures, if
Right.
that was even an option, that
We were-
inside should
we were
not be
setting up-
allowed.
We were setting something up in our garage for
Yeah,
them.
you'd have to
so-
create a heater or some
Have
heat
to be
source.
less Or something, yep. And
So the goal is to get the ducks to the fair, I'm
Right,
assuming, right?
but, right. I mean, we would like to continue to keep them, because, you know, they produce eggs. I think we haven't had, you know, had to buy eggs since December.
and how many ducks do you have?
We have 6.
Well,
So
I
then
think
that would be, if we compare it to the chicken ordinance, that would be 1 above.
1 above.
Mhm.
What
and I
about
think-
this idea? Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
The goal is to get the ducks to the fair. So if we, as a council, would extend you the benefit of those ducks in town until after the fair, and then you have to find somewhere else to go with them, would that be something that council could live with?
Or
That
you
way
want to
we
get a
don't-
new
that
ordinance
way-
to allow.
Well, that way
Yeah,
we don't
temporary.
impact our current ordinance.
So we do impact our current ordinance, because our current ordinance
Doesn't allow them at all.
doesn't allow it at all.
Right.
And then why would we enforce other ordinances and not this one?
I would rather do an ordinance with allowing ducks, but with those stipulations of 5 max
Yep.
outside, not in your basement or anything like that, that can create all other issues.
But what's next? What
That's
It is, but I mean,
I know,
chicken,
but-
ducks,
They're not
I
much
don't-
difference with raising a chicken versus ducks. Actually, the ducks are a little bit more yard friendly, because they
I would
do
agree with
forage.
Yeah.
'cause we
And they
have
don't
ducks.
scratch up the yard. Like, they're actually quieter than the dogs and the chickens behind us.
I've never looked into ducks.
Well, we have 3 hens. Chickens.
3 chickens.
They are noisy.
Well, I was
Even
gonna
though
say,
they
we
are
had ducks and
chickens, or,
chickens on
you
the
know,
farm.
hens, they are noisy.
And ducks, I would agree that they are more easier
just-
to work with.
And they just quack, they just.
Yeah, they just quack and,
Yeah.
and we
I
pick,
guess I just don't know what else then we're gonna come up with.
Unfortunately, I think that's just gonna be an issue that we're gonna run into all the time, is there's always gonna be something that people are gonna.
Decide if you're gonna go to the next one or not.
I don't,
So,
yeah.
so we don't have this on the agenda for any action tonight, or even really any discussion of should we change the ordinance or how would we do that. This is, she wanted to come and present her case
Right.
to you for our consideration for future.
Okay. So we need to put it back on to see if we're gonna go a yes or a no. Extend the order, change the ordinance or whatever.
There isn't a yes or no at this point in
No,
time.
but the next time.
But we would have to decide, are we gonna
If we wanna move on.
take the time to review an ordinance allowing ducks?
So what is all, like, you have chickens, you have ducks, you have what else is in that little realm of?
Geese, turkey,
Turkeys, could be.
Guineas,
guineas, no guineas.
I'm just saying it's in the same group.
You know, like if
More or
we're
less
getting
family.
like a duck and, you know, like, can we make it a more broad with certain thing? I don't
But
know.
that's not for tonight's discussion.
Right.
No, I'm just saying for later on.
But then it goes to the next, what if somebody wants to pet a raccoon?
Yeah.
Well, that's against state law.
Is it?
Okay, well, pick a
Good.
different, pick a pet
How
fox.
about goats? I thought
That's
somebody
against
gets
state
goats. I've heard of goats.
Goats. yeah.
Goats, I have heard. of.
Somebody
I
did
don't
have
know
a goat
where.
in town.
Huh?
Somebody did have a goat in town for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was in the ordinance either.
Well, they had to get rid of it because,
Get rid of
yeah.
it, 'cause
Right.
it's not ordinance, that's right, so.
Right. So I guess that's the only thing that I wonder about.
Right, where does
Where's it gonna
where does
end?
stop?
Because we are a town.
If we went back to the idea that I threw out earlier, wouldn't that just be a nuisance at that point? Like Wamba's house, you know, that's a nuisance.
It isn't, well, it is a nuisance.
It
that's
is a
what
nuisance
it is.
and it could be handled the same way
Yeah.
to get those ducks to the fair
the fair.
and say that's it,
And then we're done.
and then we're done.
Just to finish out what this little guys are working
And
on.
then we want to check with the city attorney, what kind of precedent does that set in the future, if you're concerned about that or not.
I'm not concerned at all about that.
No, because we can make our own rules. We like to
Something
make
to,
rules.
something to chew on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice idea that Denny's got, to
I
so
do
that they
too.
can finish it up.
Which we can't decide on tonight.
Nope,
No.
that's okay. But I kind of hate to mess with the ordinance.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So we'll have to consider as a council if we want to put it on a future agenda item to discuss that, that is a potential solution or an ordinance change or whatever you do.
Right.
Okay.
So you would just, in essence, you would just be moving the deadline for abating this nuisance until
After the fair.
after the fair.
Which is.
In
July?
End of July.
July, and then if they get, you know, for the state fair,
The
then
state.
So
It's in
say
August.
for then it's August.
Then that's it, as far as they can go, right?
I'm not sure. This is my first year in 4-H with,
Well, sometime, at some point, we're gonna have to just put a date on it, and then you're gonna have to handle it after that, so.
But even after the fair, it's not like you sell them, right? They would still go home with you, or how does
Yeah,
that go?
they would come home with us. I mean, I know the boys would hate to part with their ducks because they're very attached to their particular bird, so.
But then it becomes your responsibility, and if you don't do it, then the city steps in and will take care of the ducks.
So you'd be best to see
Yeah.
where you could find
Start
somebody.
thinking about housing.
And maybe there'd be somebody at the fair you could talk to. That would take one. If that's what we end up doing.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, what she was asking is that she wants to keep the ducks long.
Permanently.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they do produce eggs, and with the price of eggs right now, you know,
Yeah.
heck, I mean, we had, I know we hatched like 11 ducklings, and we sold, or the boys sold them $8 per duckling, so. So I mean,
So So you
We
get
have an ordinance on that?
Hatching eggs,
eggs.
Because I think, no matter what, I think they still count as an extra. So that if you had
if they're
eight-
under 12 weeks of age.
Okay,
And we didn't keep them for very long. We had, the boys watched them hatch, and then we sold all 11 ducklings that we had.
oh, they don't need to stay with their mama?
No,
Oh.
not if you,
Okay.
not if you hatch them in an incubator. It was just a thing of just watching them, incubate, cameling them and watching them incubate and hatch, and
Alright.
then we, sold all 11 after they were hatched.
Okay.
I would like to look into this a little bit more though and get some more
Definitely.
specifics on it
We'll
though.
take this under advisement and decide what
Yeah.
the council wants to
Yeah.
do with it.
We'll put it on, it'll be, something will be on the agenda as an
Okay.
action item for the next meeting.
Maybe the next, we might not be ready to review ordinance changes that fast.
We'll figure it out.
Okay, good. Okay, I know, I kind of love the little critter, they have great personality.
Okay, well,
They come and
thanks,
greet you at the gates.
thanks for your input.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Vanessa.
Yep, no problem.
We'll go from here.
Okay, item number 11, property and liability insurance. Michelle?
Yes, Marcus is here, so I can tell you what his recommendations are.
Yep.
Can I go there?
I think number 39, is that the one?
Yep. Let me start putting the page number beside the agenda. Okay, so he recommended, I have it on the notes too. So he recommended we stay with all the current deductibles except the linebacker and the property insurance. He recommended that we move those up to the 10,000.
And what does that equate to in dollars, if we move those two up to 10,000?
Linebackers, 2,700.
He's got it all. Line, you mean you say it in?
Yeah, just make sure everybody's looking
Yeah.
at the right same number.
So which one did he say that we would could increase? Linebacker?
And the property,
And that would be up to 10,000.
yeah,
And staying with our current coverage for the other two.
right.
Okay.
Right, because
The other.
You see, the differences aren't.
Oh,
as
other
much.
three? Oh, other three, yes, okay, sorry.
So was there any reason that we're not raising the deductible on inland marine? Did he give you any idea there?
Well, a $10,000 deductible, you only save $500 for that year. Inland marine would be all of our equipment,
Right,
so most of it's pretty new.
looking for dollars.
Looking for dollars, that's right.
I agree with him otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we have one breakdown, that's $10,000. And you only save 500 versus having a $10,000 deductible for one.
Yeah, I
For
like
one
that.
thing.
We're staying with the 500.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's on that. I was okay with that from the linebacker too.
Okay, so when anybody's ready, if they're ready, I can entertain a motion to some action that we recommended.
I'll motion to approve the new insurance deductibles, keeping the commercial, law enforcement, and inland marine at our current coverage, and the linebacker and property insurance increase to the $10,000 deductible.
I'll second that.
All right, discussion.
Call the question.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Item number 12, part-time summer help. Entertain a motion to approve a resolution to hire Randy Reading for summer help, as noted.
They had been at 15 an hour for the past 2 years. Kelly had asked for 16.
Did he ask for more, or do you just think he deserves more?
Well, I mean, last year, when he was done, he mentioned something to me and,
Well, I'm not against it, I just wondered if he actually said.
How long was he at that 15? Because
2
this is
years.
his third, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is his third year then?
Yep.
And no more than 36 hours a week.
Yeah, because he was getting some overtime, wasn't he? Yeah, nope, I think that sounds good.
And he has already started.
Kelly? You couldn't wait till the meeting?
Doing maintenance work or actually
So-
mowing?
He's been cleaning up the park and
He's been picking up sticks, I see
picking up
today.
sticks and
Picking up backpacks and sweatshirts.
Oh, yeah, you know that
Yeah.
things. That's how I knew he was working today.
he's been, yeah, doing maintenance on the mower and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. Is it, or do we need a, what do we need?
That's a
Motion.
resolution.
It's a resolution.
Yeah, you'll
Make
need
a
a
motion to
motion.
approve the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution. Where is it?
41.
41?
Okay.
Okay. Resolution to hire seasonal part-time outdoor laborer Randy Breedeman at $16 per hour, averaging 36 hours a week. Zachary, be it resolved? Be it resolved by the council of the city of Paullina, Iowa, to approve the hiring of seasonal part-time outdoor laborer Randy Breedeman at $16 per hour, averaging 36 hours per week for the city of Paullina, Iowa.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, say, resolution,
Yep,
roll call.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Danny Workmeister,
Aye.
Gene Unruh,
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs,
Aye.
Carol Hunkell.
Aye.
Who seconded it? Who did the second?
Jean. Jean.
Carol and Jean. All right, moving right on, number 13. Entertain a motion to approve Bunkers 2025 proposal for spring and fall lawn application on page 43.
I'll motion to approve Bunkers 2025 proposal for spring and fall lawn application.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion.
There was a couple pieces of property that were added, right?
Right.
And those were,
I think that retention pond is
Retention
on.
pond and
The Southwood Street.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to do the family medical clinic?
we just sold it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that can be taken off.
Yeah, I'll have them remove it.
Yep. Good catch there, Gene.
Oh,
Vacant lot, 134 East Broadway.
Pocket Park.
Where is that?
Okay.
Pocket Park.
Oh, okay.
Aqua Park, okay.
Yeah.
I'll accept Gene's changes as a friendly amendment.
You're so
All right.
He's so friendly.
We might want to talk to him about Dorothy. He's probably doing a grass over there, so maybe.
Yeah.
Which one's
What
that?
one is,
There's not grass planted yet.
What's
on
that
Forest
East Day
Trees
one?
Broadway.
what one is that though?
That's Johnson.
The
Is that Johnson?
fourth from the bottom. Oh, that's the Johnson property.
Open lot for East Broadway.
Yeah, that one's significant.
I'll talk to them this weekend.
We're removing that? Is that what you're saying?
They probably still want to keep the weed.
We keep the weeds down, right?
Yeah.
Spray.
So you'll talk about what's proper, appropriate to it.
So
What's
this
the
is
third?
well,
Yeah.
south, isn't it? So what is the east day? Not that it's much, but
What is the East Day?
I don't know. Where's East Day, Kelly?
Well,
That's our
No,
Maple and
that's-
Dave property, isn't it?
I thought
Or is
that
it
was
that-
the
The
old
east
one
day
on
narrow
Maple
strip
Street.
is the
South side.
south side, like across from Faust and
oh, that,
That
okay.
little
that little
strip.
Yeah.
strip.
Oh, okay, going out to the,
By Janet's land there.
Yep.
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 Okay.
alrighty, now we know where we're at.
Okay, other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried.
And you're gonna get rid of the clinic one.
Okay.
G-Works.
Sounds good.
Explain this one to the council,
Okay.
please. Page 40. 45, sorry.
45.
Okay, what they need they need this, they need us to agree on this $12,000 per year is what we paid. And this does not lock us into keeping G-Works. It only locks us in on the price if we do not switch over.
Are we looking to switch over to something else? Or? Okay, that's what I thought. So will it be, if we leave them halfway through the year, will we get that amount?
Well, no, we've already paid for the whole year. This
Oh,
is
we
for
have.
the next year, which will start in
Oh.
January. But right now, a lot of
It's a
these
yearly
companies are out till the end of fall, first part of the year for the switchovers.
Okay.
So you're paid up until the end of this year?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's all this is, it'll lock us into the next year at this
If you would go with it.
$12,000 we stay with.
So if we leave them sometime during that year, then we don't get any money back, like a refund or anything?
I mean, this won't come due till January,
Right.
so I'm hoping
So
we'll switch
before-
over by then.
Oh, okay.
Because that's when they switch to the cloud, is that what it, the end of the year?
Well, they're having
Bunch
a
of
lot of
two.
issues, so that's kind of getting delayed.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they've had a lot of problems.
So do you have one that you are wanting to do then? I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
It's the same one that the county uses,
In Orange City.
Orange City uses
Oh,
it, Altman's
I
uses
remember
it.
talking about that
Yes.
now.
Sioux Center, Rock Rapids, or Rock
And we
Valley.
wanted her to go
Yep.
and,
MRES backs it, they have support
That's
right there at
and
MRES.
to me, it sounds like a good one.
So we'll talk more about that,
Yeah.
make a decision
Yep.
Yeah.
later. But I entertain a motion on this particular action.
I'll make a motion to approve the G-Works ordering document.
Do we have a second?
I'll second. Oh, Steve got it.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Item number 15. Police chief vacation payout. Do you want to
Sure.
taste this?
Nate's birthday's actually this month. He can only carry 40 hours over. He has 180.
Sitting there.
Huh?
That's 180 sitting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's already, actually would have had more than that. He's already started losing some since, oh gosh, it's been, I think 5 or 6 pay periods. He's already started to lose some because he hit that 180 max.
When was the last time that we did this, a year ago?
July, a year ago.
So the dollar amount of this would be, oh wait, what's the dollar amount for 140 hours? I'm guessing 5,000.
180 hours is $5,061.60.
Well, we don't have to pay the 140 money. Take 140 times 60.
So am I losing that other than, since the 180 cap? Or are we gonna recalculate
Those few per pay period that I talked about? Or the one that we have
Well,
banked?
I mean, when it hit the 180 cap, yeah, your software doesn't record it anymore, but am I gonna get since then or not?
Is that just a software thing, or is that like a state thing that
No,
it caps out at
no,
180?
it's a software.
Oh, okay.
So it's really probably 180 plus a few.
Yeah, the current, I think I might have to.
How did you calculate at 140, Gene? Did you do that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't have my calculator with me.
What was-
Need one?
Go ahead.
As of the pay period just submitted Sunday, should be 211.53.
211, by that many.
Well, he gets 12 12 hours, 12 plus hours a month.
39, 36,
Sure.
80.
For vacation. So have you been able to take vacation since you got your guys working? Since
You gotta have a
December?
full day's coverage to even, I mean, I haven't even had proper full days off yet, because we don't, you'd have to have 24 hours in a row coverage, and we don't even have part-timers to do that. You know, I mean, it's dependent on their schedule and so on and so forth. And then, yeah, for vacation, you'd be talking, doing that multiple days in a row.
Is that coverage, like what we decide that we patrol, or is that like a state?
What's that?
Well, it's
The
a
20
matter of when dispatch gets a call, who's gonna go cover.
Uh-huh.
That's what it comes down to.
But we're not, I mean, we've made the decision that we're not hiring anymore.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this is going to
We
be
have.
ongoing.
That's news to me.
Our general fund, we
There's no
can't, we
money.
don't have it.
There's no money. So,
When we're given $280,000 to work with all these different departments that's paid out of, I mean, there's just no money for that. The only way we can levy for it is if it goes unified.
But that doesn't mean that we can't get another potentially part-time instead of full-time, or that, I mean, that's, I don't know where the discussion's at on that.
I don't know, we can swing it. I mean, I was told to take the help wanted thing down.
and I think you gave us a sheet that the last time we paid out, Renee, somewhere, July, was it July, just,
Wasn't that when we banked those?
No, we banked July of '23 we banked.
Okay.
but now in July of '24, you actually paid
Yeah.
for 140 hours.
So updating these hours for council, the 180 available is really 211? Is that what?
He's coming up with.
That's where the normal.
211.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a crappy thing.
And that's what that would be. It's 171 hours.
So if it's 211, that'd be, what, yeah, 171, you said?
Yeah,
About over 40?
yeah. So you'd have 31 on top of 140. So,
Does that calculate out to?
for his rate, $4,808.52.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Anybody want to make a motion to approve vacation cap?
Can we really afford it?
Well, and I
Do we
just,
have any choices?
well, I don't know.
Are you gonna go back on what your employee handbook says, I guess would be the question.
Well, employee handbook.
Because, you know, this is not a situation of my making.
Well, it's none of ours either, though. This is what our levy has done to us.
Your folks, you guys are tasked with filling the slots that are open on the payables.
Well, we
That's
can
what-
only work with what we got,
That
though.
is specifically what generated this, is nobody to fill the schedule with.
I think we should think about it.
I'll make the motion. What was the total?
$4,808.
10,000?
$4,808.52.
If that's what we're getting at, 171. The 140 plus the 31.
Yeah, I'm going to. And how many hours is that then?
171.
171 hours
Yeah.
of vacation.
So you took the 140 off that 211? Okay, that's what you did.
I'll make a motion that we pay $4,808.52, which equates into 171 hours of vacation time to our police officer, Lee Bremer.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion?
Me and Steve,
Any-
do we have any option? I mean, I don't think we do.
Well, I didn't realize we had that clause, that it's 24-hour coverage, I guess.
On call, right? Just
I
on
guess I
call.
didn't either.
How many times have we sat doing interviews and we've discussed the whole coverage thing?
You're,
On call.
you're right, but I haven't been doing it lately, so I don't even think about it. I was thinking your people would help you, that you could take vacation, your part-timers.
We don't have that, that's where a full-timer comes in. We don't, I mean, part-timers that are helping, that I'm getting 8 or we was getting occasionally 16 hours off. But yeah, you know, like I say, that's not even a full day off.
Okay, council, any other discussion?
Well, if we have no choice, you know,
What's their vacation, so.
I don't think we have a choice.
Okay, ready to vote? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right. You're welcome. Let's see, financials. We first carried down the claims from the consent agenda, so let's do that first. So, discussion and questions on the claims.
I had a question on the Sioux Sales Company and the Stryker Sales Corporation. Assuming that's police, is that money that was
Rifle,
left?
suppressor.
What was that?
Rifle and suppressor for it, and a, what's called an optic sight. And then there, I think that included one holster that they had in for the replacement handguns that are coming in. Well, the handguns are here, but we don't have an invoice for it.
So, and this, you're using money left over from your budget?
From my budget for
Okay.
this year.
And you needed these because you needed some updating?
Yeah, these are the original handguns and, well, honestly, if I'd known we weren't gonna be in a two-person department anywhere, we probably could have passed on the rifle, but such it is. Either way, it's still, I mean, it's, so that we have one in each car, so right now they aren't, but I was looking at getting our main part-timer certified on rifles, so I mean, it's not like it won't get used.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
That's good.
that was my only question.
Yep. I don't know if I had anything else.
Any other questions on claims? Go ahead and entertain a motion for approval of the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right, Michelle.
February financials. What most cities do, they pay claims once a month. What I've noticed, it's really hard to get a real accurate claims report. If we have a meeting in the first part of April, some of those claims are from March. And it carries over. And then the next week, we've got some, it doesn't work very well the way we're doing it. And I noticed Primgar doesn't, they print their claims once a month. Most cities do once a month.
Really?
Yes.
They don't do it twice?
This twice a month started after Sandy left. I don't know why.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Huh,
You guys used to just approve claims once a month
really?
in financials.
Kelly's shaking his head, yes.
So would you rather go back to that then?
First meeting of the month.
Yeah, because the way we're doing it now is,
I have no problem with that.
No, I
Back
don't
to
either.
monthly.
because I
Anything
just,
that can make life easier
well,
for
it
you.
just, it just makes the reports, to me.
Messed up.
Yeah, and it's just, and sometimes
Well, I
I
didn't
refer to
realize that.
missing like IBRs, like if I pay it on the 15th,
Yep.
you know, and I gotta think, okay, how far back do I have to go for this council meeting? I have to go back to the 15th. Oh wait, I think I had EFTPS, it came out on the 12th. You know, so instead of just having it one time for the whole month.
Let's do that.
Okay.
And I had Maureen look through this and she agreed.
Okay.
And
Sounds good.
we used to give fund balance reports. I talked to Carol Shaquin from Primgar and she says, you don't need to do that. She said it's on your treasurer's report.
Right.
So we don't need a fund balance report and a treasurer's report because your funds, the balance are all right. The funds balance are right
In the treasurer's report.
there in the treasurer's report.
And we get that monthly.
Right.
Okey dokey.
Yeah, there was something else I was going to point out.
So which one is called the fund balance report?
It's not in there. That's the
No,
one that
okay.
was landscape.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yep. Well, I think we're getting more paper than we know what to do with. So,
Yeah. And the outstanding transaction register, we have some that haven't paid their, or haven't cashed their council checks.
Oh, right.
You
I
have.
think I did. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I did.
I think,
Right next to the guy that.
oh, you.
If you don't cash it within 24 hours.
well, at least within
Get
30
it.
days.
Turkey dust,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
We need donations for pets,
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
yeah.
I was gonna say the theater.
Oh, that too.
And then I have a ticketed to G-Works for that UB deposit for $940.83.
And what was that?
It's the strangest thing. We had an ACH that was returned and for a closed account. And this person had both a house meter and an irrigation meter.
Okay.
Well, when Alana reversed the payment, she only did the house. She didn't realize there was two there.
Oh, okay.
So then when I reversed the irrigation meter and I updated it, she hadn't updated the credit card deposits for that day. So it's showing that even though it was in February, or in April, it's showing that transaction happened in February because I updated it with the, so now G-Works, I wait for a ticket from G-Works on how we can fix that.
You have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. if we
And
can-
they just are really getting back to you always.
Yeah.
Well, I really do feel you need to cut back on.
Paper?
Yes, my gosh. You're gonna ruin this new printer. It's gonna be shot.
And then I just gave the front page of the bank statement, which has the statement balance, and then the back page of the bank rec off of G-Works that gives you the ending statement balance.
This
Okay,
is
show
in
you
the
the
packet,
thing.
or was that in
Yeah,
your
second to
financial?
last.
Yeah.
On this one.
All right. Oh, on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where it was before. Okay. Well,
Instead of having 21 pages.
Absolutely.
and I don't know that we need bank statements. That to me is your office work.
That's what the treasurer signs off on.
Yes, and
Yeah.
if she
That
signs
way.
off on it, we should be good. Because we get that report from her, and we have to approve it.
And I don't think I have any more on that unless somebody has some questions.
No, we'll let you change it and make it right.
Yeah.
And I mean, the more I get comfortable with things,
Sure.
when you
See
change
how it
again,
works
I
better.
just want to make sure I'm including everything I'm supposed to.
Right.
We're open to recommendations.
Yes,
on
recommendations,
efficiency
yes.
Can I make a recommendation that we maybe adjourn for a couple minutes or take a break?
Can we make a motion to approve the February financials?
Sure.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve February's financials.
I'll make a motion to approve February financials.
Do a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say aye. Carried. We need a break?
Yeah.
How long will this take?
You guys can keep going for all I care.
2 minute.
2 minute break.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, time it.
I don't know.
I don't know if I can even get it on.
to go too much. End up on the floor.
Let's see, the budget will be less, is that gonna be worse than what you just
Yeah.
got out tonight?
That's, I've been entering everything into J-Work, so. There's still some spaces left. Oh yeah, we have a 2-minute intermission on camera.
What was that beep before?
I wondered that too.
That came from that.
I don't know where it came from.
It's not a power, is it like power? It's not a power issue, it looks like a battery, that's kind of low.
All right, 16C, budget review, Michelle.
Okay, I've been entering all the numbers on G-Works, that's what this is.
So that, this being,
This.
so what should I try to say?
This one here. Okay, gotcha.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
there's still some areas that I'm working on, I'm gonna get with Kelly, clear up some things. Maureen and I are gonna meet some evening this week or this weekend. And then I will have this all to you next week to be ready for our public hearing,
Now what jig is that?
where we're gonna set that.
You haven't said it yet.
Okay.
Couple agenda items left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, oh, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
So in here, could you point out to the council, what parts of this we went over at the last budget workshop, and then what parts were like, what the enterprise or
Right, I
utility
mean,
accounts that we didn't go over?
well, that'd be your 600, 610, and 630.
Okay.
So it'll be your last few pages.
Okay, bottom of page 15 to the end.
610.
So what would you say this is looking like here? Let's see. What do we have for the general?
The general total. Still has us in the hole, in the negative.
Which page? Page 6?
Bad thing is we don't have much in general that gives us revenue. The only thing we amount is our property tax levy.
Is that you?
No.
I think it's.
Is it a power issue?
I think.
There has been, you said. Low power mode?
Low battery.
Oh.
Let's tell us for that. Michelle, do you want me to go unplug that, to plug it in?
That's fine, yeah.
Probably.
You know, this, but this hasn't taken into account yet our loss transfers in.
Okay. So that you'll factor in for what you're gonna distribute next week.
This will all be completed. I mean, it's close now, 3/4, I suppose.
So a couple of key things to look at when you get the budget information before the public hearing is on page 2, middle of the page, total revenue.
Page 2, you said?
Yeah. 535. And then page 6, almost to the bottom. 807 is the budget, 271 deficit. So that's what shows that there's the majority of our lost, which is about
Actually,
all we're lost. So that's about around 200, right, 190?
And 807 was your total
807 is
expenses? Yeah.
expenses, lost revenue, local option sales tax revenue is not in here yet, and that's almost 200,000. So I'll cover some of that.
Okay.
Could you get together with Nate sometime and go through his budget? Okay, anything else that you need from the council on this, other than the...
No, I'll just, like I said, I'll get it all to you next week and give you time to review it for our public hearing.
Okay.
Okay. So, next page, speaking of public hearing, item number 17 is to set our public hearing for the fiscal '26 budget. Michelle's a couple of recommended dates on there.
Yeah, so our next meeting's 21st.
Which publishing it on Saturday doesn't quite get us there. That's why we have to have this the 23rd or the 24th. We can't have the public hearing on the 21st.
Right.
So we can't have the public hearing the same night as our council meeting.
No, you could, but.
We don't have enough days
because of-
in there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We did the same thing last year. It was
I remember that, yes.
It's like 10 days or something, it's gotta be.
Or the third
Okay.
Monday.
Yeah, so we either have our meeting on the 21st and have a special on the 23rd, 24th, or we just move the meeting
Move our regular meeting to the
to the
23rd or
23rd,
the 24th, which would be a Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
And the plan is to have also our budget amendments, item number 18, probably at that same
Yep.
date, same
Yep.
meeting, right?
Okay.
and I'll have those to you next week also. Let you see what all those are.
Okay.
It's a lot of money back and forth here, there, it's, yeah.
Money back and forth is fine.
Were you looking at a date?
Yeah, we're looking for a public hearing and do
Our
what?
next meeting would be, 2 weeks would be the 21st, but we can't have a public hearing, so it's not enough days for publication. So just like last year, we pushed, I think we might have an extra meeting, but we could have a regular meeting plus these 2 public hearings on the 23rd or the 24th.
Because it'll be published this Saturday, and you can't count Saturday. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days is the 22nd. And I'd be more comfortable doing the 23rd.
So what's council's availability on Wednesday, April 23rd for our next regular meeting, including public hearings?
Which would be 2 of them, right?
2 public hearings, right? One for the fiscal 26 budget, one for current budget year amendments.
Can you say 5:30 for both or not, or does it have
Yeah,
like
no, they-
5:30 and 5:45?
Then we can start the regular.
They'll both be on the agenda of the council meeting that starts at 5:30.
Okay.
Okay, so say that again, Karen. Which one?
Wednesday, April 23, or
Okay.
Thursday, April 24.
23.
I'm
5:30.
good with either one.
23rd?
I'm good with that.
I'll see it. Huh?
Are you gonna make it work?
Yeah, I can try to make it work.
Yeah, or the 20, I mean, if people have a preference, so the 24th, that way you don't have to make it work.
Well, I don't want to make everybody go a different night if the 23rd works best for them.
Let her know early enough, she'll probably be
Yeah.
around. So,
So what's the preference, Wednesday or Thursday?
I'm good with either.
as far as I know, that's good too.
I'm good with either, Carol?
You say I could do it, I think as far as I know, it'd be either
Okay,
way.
either way.
23rd.
So
Works
it doesn't
fine.
sound like there's a preference, Gene? So
23rd, Steve said 23rd.
23rd.
Wednesday's better?
Wednesday'd be better, but Thursday, if we're done by 7 o'clock,
I would think we
I'd
would
do
be if it's just
Thursday
a.
too.
No, we're gonna do our whole meeting then. We're not doing
Yeah,
the
we'll do a whole
21st.
meeting then.
Yeah.
The whole meeting will be that night.
So the 23rd would work better for me.
23rd.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna-
Okay, April 23rd, 5:30. So, first of all, I would entertain a motion to approve a resolution under number 17 for public hearing. So we want to make that motion and read that. I think we've got the resolution here. Page 39. Oh, no, that's not.
No,
49.
49. Yep.
We don't have one for the budget. Okay, so if somebody would want to make a motion for the page 49, the public hearing on fiscal year 25-26 budget.
Move to approve a resolution to set a date for a public hearing on proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. Now therefore be resolved by the City Council of the City of Paullina, Iowa, as follows. This council will meet at the Paullina City Hall, 127 South Main Street, Paullina, Iowa, on the 23rd day of April 2025 at 5:30, at which time and place it will hold a public hearing to receive comments on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2026. Section 2, the city clerk shall publish notice of said hearing, which publication shall be in the newspaper by which has been designated by resolution, which publication shall be not less than 10 or more than 20 days before the date set for the hearing.
So we have a motion and
I'll second.
a second. Any discussion? Wait till Michelle gets back, so Michelle will roll call. Okay.
This is number 50.
If you do roll call for us, please, on the item number 17.
It goes by two.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Eddie Workmeister,
Aye.
Jean Enra,
Aye.
Nicole Jacobs.
Aye.
Carol Hunkell.
All ayes. Okay, item number 18 is the resolution that Michelle just passed out, adopting the fiscal year 24-25 budget amendments. Entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make a motion. Okay. Resolution adopting the fiscal year 2024-25 City of Paullina budget amendment. Whereas the City of Paullina, Iowa has published the proposed fiscal year 2024-2025 city budget amendment and has conducted the public hearing as required by the Iowa Code. Therefore, be it resolved by the Paullina City Council that the fiscal year 2024-25 city budget amendment is hereby adopted.
This
Oh,
is,
shoot,
Yeah,
that's.
yeah.
this is the wrong resolution. This
Yeah.
is
I
the one
was
that
just gonna
happens after
say-
the public hearing.
Crap. And I read that off the heck of it.
You did a fine
Practice
job.
for the
Did I?
real one.
Huh?
You practice for the real one.
There you go.
That's why it said draft.
I know.
Yeah.
I remind you again, Jenny.
Yep.
I do not have
Well,
one.
we should probably resolve this.
Can we just add those dates in there, in that one?
You know, that would be so close to.
So I know the bill there, so.
Okay, so if somebody would kind of, look to your page 49. Under the, Michelle doesn't have one, but under the section 1, this one would be comments on budget amendment for fiscal year 24-25. Otherwise, the other wording would be the same.
Right.
Go ahead.
If somebody wants to make that motion.
Now, therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Paullina, Iowa, as follows. The City Council will meet at the Paullina City Hall, 127 South Main Street, Paullina, Iowa, on the 23rd day of April 2025 at 5:30 p.m., at which time and place it will hold a public hearing to receive comments on the amended budget for fiscal year 24-25. Correct?
Correct.
So what they did is they
Where'd you find all that?
She used the,
I
they
just-
just changed
Number
the
49.
proposed budget to
Yeah.
budget amendment for 24-25.
Synopsis.
So we have a motion by Jean,
Clicking up in the head there.
we have a second.
I'll second.
So that was, Carol was just reversed. Jean and Paul. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please. Michelle?
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Eddie Workmeister,
Yep.
Jean Enra,
Aye.
Nicole
Aye.
Jacobs. Carol Hunkell.
Budget. Motion passes. Okay. Considering the time, are there any reports that are of a critical nature that can't wait until next meeting?
Now, the only thing for me, or I guess my, or we, us, yeah. The grant, I will be putting through then for that sign. I'll come in and talk to Kelly and Michelle and just talk about, the different types of quotes that we got then.
Okay.
So,
So we don't have action on this agenda for that, so you'll just be doing it? And
well,
just
we had
do it?
talked previously when I was talking about grants, and this was a while ago, that I said, do we need to come and get approval for, all of these grants that we're wanting to do? And I thought that it was discussed that if they were the smaller ones that didn't need a grant writer, that we could go ahead and proceed to
Okay,
do that.
That's preparation of the grants.
Okay.
Then I think technically the council is supposed to approve the final
Okay.
application for the grants.
Okay, so then that is,
What about 15th?
What's that?
Let's
By
do
the
the
15th,
15th.
which we
Yeah.
don't have a meeting before then.
We're on the 7th, so it'll be Tuesday next week, right?
We could always
Has to be done by Tuesday, or
We could
submitted
always-
by then for sure.
it does.
have it submitted and either approve it at the next meeting, or if it doesn't get approved, pull the application.
When do they announce the winners, anybody know?
A couple months usually later.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So if council's okay with them continuing to work on that,
Yep, I think
so.
she should check it out.
Yep.
Okay. Get some quotes, and
because we definitely, if council wouldn't approve it, they could, we could definitely pull the application before they would make any final decisions. Long before that.
That was my fault. I thought that when we had discussed that before, that it was good to proceed with some of these smaller ones, so.
I remember something about that too.
we talked about it.
Yeah, and I remember that discussion that was had, but it was, I think it was
The
in the
preparation.
context of preparing them versus just kind of like doing that final approval, yeah, this is the
Sure.
one we're gonna go for. Okay. So nothing critical on the reports, anybody? Item number 20.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
God.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye.
Did they have a second?
Yes.
Dennis, yeah. So, nobody was opposed?
8:33.
Let's not do this again.
No.
Amen.
Who motioned and seconded the first part of this?
The first part, like the budget one, or the,
On page 49, the hearing.
the budget hearing? Denny and Nicole. And the budget one, we got the one, Gene and Nicole. Great.
Okay. Can you not get up? You're like paralyzed.
Yeah.
It's 17.
We're all like stuck in chair position.
I better not put that in there.
So I printed this thing out, we don't get our copy. So we have a page and what was sent out. Why should not use a white paper? Is it because some of it's two-sided?
What I do.
Print everything one-sided.
Yeah.